We call names tonight. We call names tonight.
Are you ready?
A new era for athletics in Western Australia began in July 2009 with the opening of the West Australian Athletics Stadium, which now plays host to the next stop of the 2016 Australian Athletics Tour, the Perth Track Classic. Hi and welcome, I'm Tamsin Lewis-Manu, and following on from the excitement of last week's IAAF Melbourne World Athletic Challenge in Victoria, the Perth Track Classic, I'm sure, will also provide us with plenty of action and entertainment. We will also be showcasing some of Australia's brightest young stars with snippets from the 2016 Australian Junior Athletics Championships, which are currently well underway here in Perth. I will be joined in the commentary box again by Australian Commonwealth Games decathlete Steve Kane, and we are lucky enough to have former Australian junior champ Matt Lynch also up there with us. And trackside, we will have the dynamic duo Mossy and Robbo taking us up close and personal with some of the action from the track. Okay, Steve, tonight there's a lot of great events on the card. Take us through some of the highlights.
Well, Tamsin, definitely tonight's a jumps night. We'll start off with the girls' long jump. We've got a new second best all-time, Brooke Stratton, the queen of the pit, and Chelsea Ganch will also be jumping, so fingers crossed for a couple more Olympic qualifiers from them. We've also got Talia Clark, our new under-20 champion. She'll be looking to add 7 centimetres to what she jumped the other night and hopefully get her ticket to Big Gosh. We've got the boys in the high jump, hopefully 220 plus for the likes of Joel Baden, Brandon Stark and our Malaysian guest. And we've also got the 800, obviously a huge event. David Rudisha, the king of the track. Hopefully we've got a few of the Aussies that can challenge him. Alex Rowe being our Australian record holder, keen to go a little faster than he did in Melbourne, so looking forward to those three in particular.
Thanks, Steve. And Matt, you've been here all week watching the juniors compete. We've got a few junior events on tonight. Take us through some of the highlights from that.
Yeah, we've got plenty of junior track events. We're going to be, the title is going to be the under-20 men's. I think we've got Jack Hale, Trey Williams, Nick Andrews. Anyone can be there. There's only one spot that's going to be automatic. And with the conditions tonight, I think it's going to be pretty good and pretty fast.
Oh, looking forward to it. Now, Robbo, tell us what's on the line for the athletes tonight.
Yeah, that's right. I've got the two flags here, and as Steve and Matt have mentioned, we've got the opportunity to put some athletes on some buses and some planes in the World Under-20 Championships in Bydgoszcz in Poland, and we've got the Polish flag there, is one opportunity, but also a little event called the Rio Olympic Games are on later this year, and hopefully we're going to see some qualifiers in that one. Mossy, you're the weatherman. What's the conditions like tonight? Is this the perfect scene for some great performances?
Well, I tell you what, it is going to be very, very tasty indeed with the weather conditions tonight for anyone who's going to be coming down this home straight. So as we said there, Lynchy mentioned the men's 100 metres. We've also got the women's long jump as well. But they're going to have a mega tailwind behind them. So the question is, in the men's 100 metres, could we see a sub 10? We know it can happen over here in Perth. We saw it with Patrick Johnson many, many years ago. I think it may well happen tonight. We've also got a bit of a headwind for Matt Denny and Julian Ruck in the discus as well. So those guys are looking to launch it out there, and that is an assistance to them as well. So I can tell you what, we're looking for some huge times and huge distances tonight with this wind.
Thanks, guys. Stay tuned. Put your feet up for a great evening of athletics ahead. You're watching the 2016 Australian Athletics Tour. This is the Perth Track Classic.
Western Australia is extraordinary. Experience it this March. Discover hundreds more events and start experiencing now at westernaustralia.com/events.
To be famous for my face. I want to be famous for my heart.
Welcome everybody. Well, we're here at the 2016 Australian Athletics Tour. We are in Perth, and what an evening Perth has put on for us. The sun's about to set. It's a beautiful sunny afternoon. The wind's blowing down the front straight of for the 100-metre men and women later on this evening. Boys, I'm here with Steve and Matt. How you going, boys?
Yeah, great, Tamsin. Great. Yeah, really looking forward to some really quick times, and as we have a little look at the flags, hopefully a few qualifiers. The boys are just getting underway in the pole vault, and this tailwind is going to be really helpful for them. Most of these guys jumped a few days ago, and they jumped really well. So I'm sure they'll all be looking to jump a little higher, and keen to see what they can do tonight.
Yeah, this wind has, I think it's settled down a little bit, so hopefully it's gone into that legal realm, and we might see some very fast times. We've got a few juniors coming up, and they're going to be competing with these older guys, so it's going to be an exciting night for athletics.
Thanks, Matt. Earlier today, we had some big athletics news. Let's throw to it now.
Leadership of a Commonwealth Games team for Australia is one of the great honours that an Australian sports administrator can have. And today, we're pleased to announce that Steve Monaghetti has been appointed for the third time to lead the Australian Commonwealth Games team for the Gold Coast 2018 Games.
Isn't that great news? Steve Monaghetti, the chef de mission for the Commonwealth Games in the Gold Coast in 2018.
Yeah, it's going to be his third time. He was the chef over in Delhi and in Glasgow, so he's the man for the job. He's succeeded in 2010 and 2014, so why not do it again?
And obviously a very credentialed athlete himself, marathon man. I can't think of how many sort of medals he's won internationally. Nationally, he's been around forever and still very fit. He keeps his running up back in Melbourne. So, yeah, that's great news for athletics.
You know, if there's a fun run on in Melbourne, that Steve Monaghetti's going to be there running, don't you?
No doubt, no doubt.
He's brilliant. He'll be great for the athletes. He's always very positive, and the athletes obviously really like him. So congratulations, Steve. I'm sure he'll be listening to the live stream back there in Ballarat. Congratulations. It's another big honour to add to your very, very big honour list.
See in the pole vault there, the start list: Stephen Clough, Joel Pocklington, Angus Armstrong, Declan Carruthers and Curtis Marshall. Angus Armstrong, Carruthers and Marshall all jumped on our first night of the stream, and it went Marshall first, Armstrong second and Carruthers in third. Marshall actually taking it in a PB, 5 metres 50.
Yeah, a meet record. Those that were tuning in the other night will have heard the great cross and interview of the previous record holder, Mr. Burgess. So his national record, 560, was just out of reach. Curtis Marshall, who tried 562 that night. Perhaps tonight's the night that he can take that national record off the local budgie.
Well, Paul Burgess, he won the World Juniors in 1996, and he was a brilliant jumper, obviously a 6-metre man, which is the mark that all the boys want to get to if they're a pole vaulter. So if you can do anything similar to what Paul Burgess did in his junior career, you know you're well on target for having a good senior career.
Yeah, it's a great start for sure, and at 495 there, that's Steve. He cleared his first attempt at 475, his opening height. Not quite on that one. Declan Carruthers opened at 495, going over quite easy, and I think the other three boys are going to wait till it gets a little bit higher, conserve their energy.
Yeah, the other night those boys didn't come in till around 5:10, which was that World Junior qualifier. Marshall getting that automatic spot, and that second position still up for grabs between Armstrong and Carruthers. You'd have to say Armstrong would be in the slight lead at the moment after jumping 540, only 3 centimetres off his personal best. And I think he might be in the box seat, but we don't know what happens tonight. Maybe Carruthers jump 6 metres. I'm going to put that out there.
Go, Declan.
That would be pretty cool to watch. Well, Armstrong's had a pretty good athletics meet so far this season. He won Adelaide Track Classic. So I guess they'd look at other head-to-head battles when they're making those selections. But there's some junior selections for the World Junior qualifiers. I'm glad I'm not a selector. They're pretty tough. Those juniors there's depth in our junior ranks at the moment, which is really exciting for Australian athletics moving forward.
Yeah, I think that's why everyone's just so hungry to get that win and that automatic spot. It takes the pressure off you. You don't have to wait for anyone else to make any decisions. But as we've seen, some of these athletes will get that second shot. Their event might have been over, but because the qualification doesn't finish till Sunday afternoon after that last race is finished, some of these guys will get that second shot tonight. We'll see them in action later on. And don't forget, you can use the hashtag SummerOfAts on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook if you want to talk to us. Let us know where you're watching from, how you're watching, who you're looking forward to seeing. And there's our first one. Pocklington's poll ready to flex in Perth at the poll official. Hashtag SummerOfAts. So that's Joel's poll tweeting to us. So hopefully Joel's poll will be very friendly to Joel tonight. And we'll see how he can help each other to clear the bar.
Clearly, for those that don't know, there's some new rules around phones in the competition area, because Joel's poll wouldn't have been able to tweak that if the old rules apply, because Joel's poll's are actually out on track at the moment. Apparently the athletes are allowed phones out there now. Watched a few of the vaulters earlier today and be keen to see if these boys decide to use their phones and music to motivate them on site. So hopefully we can get a few more updates on the poll. I assume it's just resting at the moment, and perhaps there it is. There's Joel in the red shirt with the run, jump, chuck shirt. Part of the big promotion for the Glasgow Com Games a couple of years ago. So fingers crossed he competes in that. That'd be a good one to see flying over a 5-metre bar.
Yeah, you might have noticed last night on the stream, Darcy Roper with the earbuds in. He said he was listening to Louis Stenmark's tunes on SoundCloud, and he had it all the way up till his name was called on the runway, pulled them off, dumped the iPod, did his jump, and it was enough to get him over the bar. Oh, sorry, over the bar, into the pit. 7:72 last night for Darcy. Fortunately, a little bit of a niggle, so we won't see him competing tonight in any of the events. But yeah, it's an interesting little addition. I've seen the swimmers; they can take their iPhones and everything all the way out to the blocks.
Yeah.
Why can't we? There's no difference. They're not going to get it. We're not going to wear it in a race because we wouldn't hear the gun. But yeah, I like it. I'm happy with it. I see it's fine. As long as you don't jump in it, you don't race in it, it's not a problem with me.
I suppose athletics is one of those sports where you want to move with the times, and that's where the kids are at these days. They want to be listening to their music, so it's what fires them up. And what we want to see is, as people watching them perform, is we want to see great performances. So if a little bit of music on the runway, or a little bit of music before you head out there to race your 400 or whatever event that you're doing, brings out a really big performance. That's what the crowd comes to see, so bring it, I say.
Why not try and help the athletes as best as possible? It's like when if we can reverse a track and help the sprinters, why not? We want to see fast times. We want to help the athletes as much as possible. If this makes it a better time for the athletes to enjoy their performance or perform better, I see no problem in it.
Yeah.
Not needed this week though, Lynchy.
No.
The winds have been very favourable.
It's Perth.
And as you said before, we're just hoping for that wind to die down to the 2.0, maybe 1.9 if
yeah, 1.9 to be safe.
Just to be safe. And there's Joel Pocklington, Box Hill club member, coached by Mark Stewart. He's been here all week, the national junior coach for pole vault. Coach Steve Hooker in his early days, Emma George, the former world record holder. He knows his pole vault, that's for sure. And one of the great guys in athletics.
Emma George, 12 world records in her time. Pretty handy.
Fair effort. There's Declan, the potential 6-metre man, as we've dubbed him Thames, and perhaps he can get a PB on his way to 6 metres, whether it's tonight or whether it's in the future. So as Joel picks up his tweeting pole, 5.10 the bar. And great first attempt clearance there by Joel. For those that don't know Joel's background, he is quite the daredevil. Once you've finished watching the Summer of Ats live stream, go check out his YouTube videos. Very, very entertaining. Joel's crazy tricks. He jumps off cliffs, he pole vaults into creeks, he does a bit of everything. So, yeah, quite the entertainer. Great guy, got married just recently, has a couple of kids as well, so balancing work life, family life with the athletics. Tamsin, you know all about that.
I tell you what, when you bring kids into it, it definitely makes it a new ball game. So he's doing very well to be able to juggle it and still be out here competing. But he is a Commonwealth Games representative from 2014. He started this season off quite slowly. I think he's going to be quite annoyed that the juniors have beaten him at some of the other lead-up meets to this. So I think he's really going to want to try and turn the tables tonight.
Well, he's definitely the man with the experience. But as we were mentioning, Declan Carruthers, 5.10, great clearance there.
He looked good.
So Declan's PB is 5:20. He's jumped it a couple of times. He jumped it the other night. So he'll be hoping for a 5:30, maybe even a 5:40 to make the selection for that second spot that little bit harder. But Angus Armstrong from New South Wales, coached by Zhuja, is looking really good as well, and he'll be keen to secure that spot as well.
And we got Robbo trackside. We're going to launch it down to Robbo.
Thank you very much, Lynchian. And look, I've got one of our officials, the hard-working officials over here. It's Fiona Brown. She's a local resident here in the West, in Perth. And Fiona, what's your role here tonight, first of all? And can you tell me how many officials we've got on deck tonight?
So I'm one of the 3 meeting managers for tonight's competition, which means we manage the field of play competition to make sure everything runs smoothly, liaise with the competition director and problem solve basically. And we've probably got about 100 officials officiating tonight from all over Australia and from New Zealand as well.
Now, you're officialing here on your home track tonight. Can you comment a little bit about the conditions that the athletes are going to be faced with here this evening?
Well, at the moment, we've got the Fremantle Doctor in, so it's a beautiful tailwind for our sprinters. And as the evening progresses, the wind should die down and it'll be perfect conditions for all other athletes as well as they enjoy a fantastic Perth evening.
Thanks very much for speaking with us, Fiona. Have a great night and all the best to all the officials, and thanks for all the hard work that you do. We're going to cross now and see what's happening over at the pole vault.
I'll tell you what I really like about the pole vaulters' backstories. You mentioned Emma George, and you obviously just spoke about Joel's crazy antics that he does for social media. Emma George was one who came from the circus. And so a lot of the pole vaulters, how they get to flying themselves over a bar, hurling down a runway with a big pole, is that they've come from a sport or an activity that's enabled them to be a bit more gutsy than the average Joe Blow.
Yeah, you're right there, Tams. And a lot of gymnasts tend to make the transition from the gym to the track, and pole vault is one of the events that they can utilise their skills. I know Alex Parnov, who runs the pole vault institution here in Perth, is big on their gym. We'll get to see the Parnov girls a little later. But yeah, the gymnastics is a big part of their training. 5:20 for Joel. And a lovely clearance there. That'll put the pressure on the other boys. A couple not yet to start.
Yeah, I suppose the boys have seen it. It looks like Angus and Curtis just waiting a little bit longer. They did have that big comp on our first night on Thursday. I've got to say, Joel's Crazy Tricks Volume 3 is my favourite. That's my, if you want to search that one, that's probably the best one to start with.
I'll have to look over him to judge which one I think's the best, but I think he gets better and better and better. He just actually just put out a video of the Commonwealth Games. So Joel went to the Commonwealth Games in 2014. So yeah, he loves his media.
Looks like we've got some international viewers there. But as Angus Armstrong clears 5:20 on his first event, Paul Connolly over in Zurich. Tough to get out in those cold weather while we've got the stream pumping. Well, Paul, there's no need to go outside. Just sit back, relax, warm a cup of cocoa and watch the live stream. So you're saying before, this is a PB height for Carruthers? 5:20?
5:20, equal PB height. He's jumped this a few times, so he'll be very comfortable at this height. I think very confident that he'll get this one. It's probably the next height that he's really looking to get, but obviously one stepping stone to a 5:30 clearance is this 5:20. As we watch the crowd on the hill getting ready for the high jump that we'll see later tonight.
It's so tough to know that you've got the standard, but there's 2 other guys with better PBs in front of you, isn't it? You work all through winter to chase those qualifying standards down, and because there's so much depth in the men's junior pole vault at the moment, it's tough.
Yeah, there's some events where we can't get anyone to that qualifying mark, and then you come to pole vault. As Carruthers clears 5:20, there he goes. He's got another equal PB, and then all of a sudden you've got all these guys. 1,500, we had 7 qualifiers, and 6 of them actually were in that race.
Yep.
It's just cutthroat with these juniors, and only 2 can end up going to juniors, so let's hopefully those other guys use that as motivation if they do miss out. And there is plenty of opportunities in athletics.
I think that's an important message to get through to some of the juniors. If they do miss out, there's plenty of athletes who make senior teams, and I'd probably say majority of the athletes who make senior teams haven't actually ran for Australia as a junior. So a lot of them work really hard. They use it as motivation to train harder and to tweak a few things to make themselves better athletes. And you find that some of the senior athletes that do really, really well haven't come from success as juniors.
Yeah, my favourite ones are Matt Shervington, just being a sprinter. He was the reserve in '96.
Yep,
the boys actually
Juniors.
got a bronze medal.
They
the
did.
next year, he runs 10:29 and breaks the Australian under-20 record. He was only a 10:6 guy before. You see Curtis Marshall just checking out the pole. And the bar looks straight. He's still got 2 more attempts, though.
Looks like it was a little close on that one. So conditions can be good with the tailwind, but they can also be difficult if the wind's not consistent.
All right, boys, we're off to a break. Stick around, plenty more to come. You're watching the 2016 Australian Athletics Tour Summer of Us. We'll be back with the pole vault soon.
Western Australia is extraordinary. Experience it this March. Discover hundreds more events and start experiencing now at westernaustralia.com/events.
Welcome back. You're watching the Perth Track Classic as we head down to see the pole vault action.
That was Curtis Marshall going over 5:20 on his second attempt, so he's adjusted his run up over the bar. 4 guys have now cleared 5:20. And they'll head to 5:30, 10 centimetres up from there, and they'll probably go 10 centimetres on each height from now on.
Looks like we've lost Stephen at the moment. And we've got 4 left. Joel Pocklington, who will go first. Armstrong, Carruthers and Marshall.
And we're talking about World Under-20 selection. Obviously, we've spoken about the 3 boys that have their qualifying performances. Unfortunately, only 2 can go. But I guess the good thing is that these 3 guys are really good mates. They get along really well, and I think they'll be, whoever gets selected, really happy for the 2 that get to represent the country. And also, as you were saying before, Tams, and I think it's 50-50. So those that go to World Juniors, 50% of our senior Australian representatives come through World Juniors. But the great news for those that don't make it is 50% don't.
Yep.
So half-half, it's, you know, a great stepping stone. But not everyone sort of takes that path. Some get into it later. And as we look at Joel Pocklington, 5:30, Joel Pocklington's pole. He wasn't quite feeling that one for some reason. His spatial awareness is phenomenal, Joel. He'll be halfway up in the air and know exactly whether it's working or whether it's not.
He hasn't cleared 5:30 yet this season, though. So does that play mentally on you when you come up to a new height in pole vault? Do you actually think of what's gone before in the season? Do you know that this is a season's best?
I think he'll be excited to try and jump a season's best. But like every athlete, you know, we're all different. We all respond differently to sort of different pressures. I think he'll be looking forward to jumping 5:30, knowing he's done it before. And I guess knowing that these young boys are going well too, he'll want to make sure that he shows them how it's done.
Yeah, he did a 5:25 back at the Adelaide Track Classic. So he's just going to maybe hopefully add 5 centimetres to that season best PB of 5:41. So some high jumpers, some high pole vaulters out there at the moment. Carruthers looks like he's up next. This could be a new PB for him if he can get over.
He's quite a character, Declan Carruthers, so fingers crossed he gets over this one and we can enjoy a little celebration. He's looking great. He's cleared the last couple of heights by a big margin. His hip height over the bar has been looking really good.
How much does the wind play effect in pole vault? I've only ever done pole vault once and I went 225, so I stopped pole vaulting.
Great work.
How much does it affect you? I know probably a tailwind would be helpful. But what about those crosswinds?
Yeah, you definitely don't want a crosswind. Holding a pole, and these boys are all on 16-foot or even 5-metre poles. The longer and the heavier the pole, the more the wind is going to push that pole either left or right. And when you get down to the end of the runway, you have to plant the pole in a box that's only 20 centimetres from left to right at the back. So it's quite a small target, and when these boys, they'd be running 9.5 metres a second, it's quite tough if you've got a wind that's pushing that pole left or right. A headwind's no good because that'll slow you down. A tailwind's great because it'll speed you up. And the faster you go, the bigger the pole you can use, and the bigger the pole, technically, the higher you have then the potential to jump. But it needs to be consistent. If you've got a big gush, then that can throw your run-up off, and with these guys, they want their foot to be placed underneath their takeoff hand. So the rest of the mechanics of pole vault, and we don't need to go into it in too much detail, but they require a proper takeoff. Whereas in the long jump, if you are 10 centimetres over the board, you just get a foul. Where in the pole vault, if you're too close, then danger can come your way.
Is that why you see sometimes, even at Olympic Games and big major competitions, you see some guys running down the runway with the pole and they plant it and then they run through? Is that because the plant's been wrong? Is that why they're doing that?
Sometimes something along the runway hasn't quite worked, and these guys will have a mid-marker, so halfway down their runway, they'll have a checkpoint just to make sure they're on track. If they're way off that for whatever reason, then they either have to adjust a lot to make up for it, or they'll decide that, no, well, let's just go back and try again.
So when the pole gets into the box, that is counted as an attempt?
So if, similar to high jump, if anything goes under the line of the bar in high jump, then that would be counted as an attempt. The back of the box, there's a vertical line that goes up from that, and if anything passes that vertical line, that's counted as a failure.
Okay, so you like high jump, if you break jump plane
and not pass that line, be up in the air and then come back onto the runway, and provided you had time, that'd be okay.
And we're going to chuck it all the way down to Mossy, who is at the high jump.
Yeah, thanks very much, guys. I'm going to tell you, down here at the high jump, the good news is that the wind has started to die down. We've got Brandon Stark, Navraj Singh, Joel Baden, amongst many others here who are warming up. Now, we do have a little bit of an issue. It's off camera at the moment, but there's all the athletes aren't really happy, those that are going to be coming from the side that I am. There's a little bit of a base plate there that has a gap in it, so they're looking at something that won't assist them when they're going to jump, and something that may well get in the road. So we'll have to stay tuned to that. The officials apparently are onto it, but we're going to find out very soon. But I tell you what, the conditions, as I said, are starting to get really, really good for high jump here. I'm expecting big jumps up towards that 230. Back up to you guys.
Okay, that doesn't sound great. Steve, Mossy was explaining that there's a problem with the high jump run up for some of the guys coming in from one of the sides, that there's a base plate in the way, that they're going to have to try and move it or cover it. Obviously it's, I don't understand what the base plate is. Is that?
Yeah, it sounds like it's part of the structure of the track, and there's just some points of the track that have some metal to it.
Yep.
Not quite sure exactly sort of what it's for, whether it's cords or something. That sounds like it's in the path of the runway for a couple of the athletes. So if that's the case, then they'll need to move the mats, and if they move the mats, then everyone will have to move their run-ups. So that'll be interesting. They're still warming up over there at the moment, so we'll keep you posted on what happens there.
So that'd be like the little metal blocks that's covering the plate where technology would obviously go under. Is that what we're talking about? Okay, got it.
Could be a starter's little electronic box down at the end there, yeah. As you can see, it's just unfortunate. The high jump is pretty far towards the track side. Normally you'd see it probably a little bit higher up. But they may be moving it just in case the javelin's going to come from either end. We're not too sure where the javelin throwers will be throwing, whether they're requesting a headwind or a tailwind. We're not sure. We'll just keep an eye on that. Mossy's on the ground. He knows. He'll let us know when anything's going to happen. The bar at the pole vault still at 5:30 as we see the crowd really starting to build up. Hands shielding that sun. Still got probably another hour and a half of some hot, hot sun.
On the men's high jump, it looks pretty exciting. Starting in 15 minutes, and we've got some exciting talent coming through in the high jump. We've already got a qualifier for the Olympic Games. World Championship finalist, Brandon Stark. What an effort that was last year.
Yeah, and that's the jump that he did there. 2:31 is what qualified him. As we see Joel clearing there. Season best for Pocklington. He's added 5 centimetres to it. He's pretty stoked. And it'll probably go up to 5:40 next, you think.
And he had a good clearance there. It should give him confidence that he's got a chance at the next one.
And that's pushing on to his personal best of 5:41. So he's obviously in shape. He's heading into the national championships where he wants to be peaking. And so he's making his time for the Nationals run-up spot on. Okay, let's go back down to Mossy and see if he's got an answer for what's happening down at the high jump.
So that was the question, is what is a base plate? Well, that was my best description here of sort of a cover that's covering up a bit of an underground situation there. You can see there just at the back of it, it's probably around about, well, maybe 2 inches deep at the worst place, but the officials are onto it right now. They're looking to get it covered up, but it is not ideal conditions, as we said there, especially for Brandon Stark. Stick the key in there. But we might see, well, hang on, there we go. And this is why I call it a base plate. It's about to be lifted up right now. But it will be fixed up very, very shortly, which is good news for all high jump lovers out there and also for all athletics fans as well. Back up to you guys.
Thank you, Mossy. Now, we did decide that's a pole vault box.
It is indeed.
When you come to Perth, it's the place of pole vault. There's pole vault run-ups, boxes everywhere, and unfortunately, that's the way it is. Sometimes they do put the pole vault there if the wind's coming from that side. But, yeah, unfortunately, that's going to be a bit of a hassle for those high jumpers.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for the high jumpers. But on that note, with the pole vault, this is the place. They've got 6 different directions they can run here. We've mentioned how advantageous the wind is. So that's just one of those 6. Unfortunately, it's in the wrong spot for the high jumpers tonight. But they've also got a run-up on the back straight. It's a decline run-up. So you don't actually have to run a full-length run-up to get similar speeds. As we watch Declan on his second go over 5:30. PB for Declan Carruthers. He's pumped. Great work, Declan.
Very handy jumping. He has another look up and he's like, yes, I've done it. He's putting the pressure on the other boys. Like we said, Carruthers and Armstrong, they're the 2 that are also eligible for the World Under-20 Championships in Bydgoszcz. Marshall's already there, but he could put the pressure on Armstrong. Armstrong's probably ahead of him at the moment, but if he jumps big tonight, could happen.
You know what I love about the pole vault? You just look down there and you see Carruthers high-fiving Pocklington. They really are mates, aren't they?
Yeah, all those boys get along. They appreciate how hard it is to be pole vaulters and how gutsy you have to be. So, yeah, no, it's good to see them all getting along.
If you ever get a chance to come to an athletics meet, you should actually come and sit really close to the pole vault, because I don't think the people at home would appreciate just how high they are hurling their bodies up and over.
Now we got Robbo trackside at the pole vault. Robbo, what's going on down there, mate?
Yeah, look, you would have heard the cheers there as Carruthers cleared that height at 5:30. And look, we used to get excited about 5:30, but after what happened the other night with these guys getting it up to 5:40, 5:50, I mean, it's setting whole new standards. We throw Joel Pocklington in there with his pole, and we're really seeing some exciting scenes here. As you mentioned, guys, it's one of the fantastic places in Australia to spectate the sport of pole vaulting, and the crowd's really on top of the guys down in here, and you can feel them helping them get up. But let's see Curtis Marshall now at 5:30.
Oh, that's a huge clearance.
Beautifully. And he pumps the air there.
By Curtis Marshall. Very big clearance of 5:30. Jumped 5:50 as we said before. Tried 5:62 and was close on a couple of attempts, but not quite. So maybe tonight's his night for the Australian record, which is at 5:60, the Australian junior record. And then you look one step further, and 5:70 is the Olympic qualifier.
That's right, we could see an Olympic qualifier there. 5:62, I thought that was a bit interesting. They were going up by 10s. The record's 5:60. Why 5:62? Why not 5:61?
Well, funny you say that, Lynchy. I was actually sitting next to Curtis's mum at the time, and I copped a fair few punches from her because she was so excited, and she's apologised profusely for it. But she said that he doesn't like when people go the 1 centimetre over. So as a sign of respect to Paul Burgess, the current Australian record holder, he decided he'd go 5.62.
Respect him with the extra centimetre there. That's the Elena Izabenyeva trick. Go up by 1 centimetre every time.
I think there's money involved in that.
There's
reason,
a lot of money involved, I think. If you could do it at 100, I'm sure Bolt will be doing it all the time.
I think she learned that off Bubka. Good old Sergei Bubka taught her that one.
From the bar now, 5 metres 40. This is only 1 centimetre below Pocklington's PB. It's only 3 centimetres below Armstrong's PB. So we're getting up into that new territory for the boys. And up until the other night, it was only 2 centimetres below Curtis's PB.
Yeah, you're right there, Lynchy. And with 4 guys, I think Angus passed 5.30. So he jumped 5.20, but 3 guys over 5.30. Can't remember the last time we had a national championships where 3 guys had jumped that high. And Joel's given that a really good crack. It'll give him confidence. He'll be going back going, yep, I've got this one. I've got 2 more cracks at it. He'll have a chat to his coach, Mark Stewart, to see if he's got any suggestions.
He looked like he hit it on the way up. Did he get too close to the bar?
Yeah, often when you hit on the way up, it means your pole's just that little bit soft. But here we see Sandra Bisetto in the blue shirt moving the high jump mats across.
For those who don't know Sandro
is the national junior coach for high jump and coaches Joel Baden in this field.
And coached Olympian Tim Forsyth. Olympic medalist, bronze medalist.
Has been around for longer than he'd care to admit. He won't mind me saying that.
And he's still switched on.
He's very sharp, he's very fit. He loves a good feed too.
One of the nicest coaches you'll find on the circuit, I think.
And more than happy to help out.
Yep.
As we watch Alex Stewart having a chat to the gentleman in the nice, bright, long sleeves, Brandon Stark.
It's not often you get to see the coaches actually being allowed in the area before a competition. I can understand this is a bit of a different situation, obviously moving the mats, but I think this is a rare opportunity. Those coaches getting down there and they might be able to just go, oh, by the way, when they're moving the mats, you're just doing this a little bit wrong. So, yeah, it gives them a little bit of help, and it's a little bit of an advantage there, I think.
Well, hopefully it's given them a bit of extra advice that makes them pop over some big heights. As we see a few of the helpers keen to be picking up some baskets and bags for the elite athletes that we've got competing here tonight.
Now, I know last year it was a very big opportunity for an athlete, as we see Angus Armstrong just missing his first attempt at 5.40. Who gets to carry Radisha's basket? Now, it went crazy at the Sydney Track Classic last year. We had to try and give it to the quietest kid, because you don't just ask who wants to hold Radisha's clothes and everyone just goes mental. So we just went, you can do it. And you might have seen the video where Bolt fist bumps the kid at London and just made that guy's life. He was stoked. So this could make a kid's career. One day we could see a video of, it could be a future Alex Rowe, it could be a future Luke Matthews, who, yeah, I remember, I took Radisha's clothes and then he went and ran 1:43.
I'm really looking forward to seeing Radisha later on race against. I think Alex Rowe's going to come back and run better tonight. I think that he is obviously trying to peak for nationals, where this event is so tight with those boys. You know, there's going to be a few qualified, and so those trials over the 800 is really going to count. So Alex wants to make sure he's peaking at the right time, and he knows how to do it. So I think you'll find that Alex runs a lot better tonight. He tactically wasn't great last week. He sat at the back of the pack, possibly expecting Radisha to hit the 50-second pace he'd set, but.
Yeah, they didn't go through super fast. Harrison Rubin was the pacemaker, went through in about 51.3, and the boys were quite off the back of that.
Yeah, I think Radisha, when you're the world record holder, it was funny because everybody just watched him.
Too much respect. I can understand.
Too much respect.
Way too much respect. So they just watched him, let him run the race that he wanted to run. He just looked a little bit, he'd come from Kenya. It was his first race for the season. So he looked like he just wanted to blow the cobwebs out. So I'm thinking tonight he'll have a bit more of a crack.
Yeah, well, fingers crossed. I know that was Luke Matthews, tucked in behind him in Melbourne. at the IAAF World Challenge, and I think, yeah, just a little bit too much respect for the big man. Understandable. You obviously, like Radisha, he's the world record holder, he's the Olympic gold medalist, but maybe someone might, you know, go in front of him for once. Take it out early. Let him work around you. But again, yeah, you've got to be brave enough to take that challenge, and hopefully someone is tonight.
As we watch Dick Carruthers getting ready for his attempt at 5 metres 40. They're just setting the bar, so fingers crossed he can get over this. It will be another PB. We just saw him jump 5:30 for the first time. Kim, his coach, also coaches Curtis Marshall, so really good crew over in South Australia at the moment. So they won the under 20 men's as well as a few other age groups, so really strong. All right, here we go. 5:40.
Again, hitting it on the way up. And after that jump, we will be back with some more action after this.
Western Australia is extraordinary. Experience it this March. Discover hundreds more events and start experiencing now at westernaustralia.com/events.
To be famous for my face. I want to be famous for my heart.
Welcome back, everyone. Hope you're enjoying the action so far of the Perth Track Classic. There's plenty more to come. Women's long jump is about to start.
And we got the start list there. Andrea Thompson, Laura Mellis, Carly Beattie, Larissa Perry, Chelsea Yench, Karina Minko, Na Anang, Talia Clark and Brooke Stratton. Now there's a few to watch here. Chelsea Yench and Brooke Stratton already jumping that Olympic qualifier at the Canberra Track Classic, and Andrea Thompson and Talia Clark looking for that 6:20 to get them over to the World Under-20 Championships. Clark and Thompson, 6:13 for Clark and 6:03 for Thompson. They're not too far away, but we may even see, could we possibly see a 7-metre jump today?
Well, wouldn't that be impressive? We've obviously had one Australian go over 7 metres before, and that was Bronwyn Thompson from Queensland. Australian record holder. She finished 4th in the Olympics behind 3 Russians.
3 Russians.
Should we put 3 question marks behind that?
I think so.
Amazing jumper. And so when we talk about Brooke possibly, you know, pushing to that 7-metre barrier, that's how good she is.
And that's the kind of level that kind of jump will get you.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of times where you may see someone jump a 7:20 or something like that out of the blue, but 6:90s get you medals. Not often that it falls out of the medal placing, and it can even win world championships.
And Chelsea, her jump's still amazing as well. You know, she looks like with the jumps that she's putting out there at the moment, she can push on the final.
Exactly, 6:70 as well.
You never know what happens, but this event is very exciting. I'm very excited about watching this event tonight, because I think that if these girls are on it, the tailwind's good. Perth Track is known for producing good long jumping results. These girls, if they go PBing tonight, we're going to see huge distances.
There on the screen, Talia Clark taking out the under-20s. So we see Stratton just working through her warm-ups.
So Brooke trained by her dad, actually, back in Melbourne. They do a lot of their work at the Nunawading Athletics Track, known for its soft surfaces, really good for training. And Les Burgess actually looks after that track, and they're probably the cleanest pits that I've ever seen. He looks after them.
No one wants to jump in a dirty pit.
He knows where every grain of sand goes. And he'll let you know if they're not in the right spot. But noticed earlier today, the pit crew here, if you're watching at home, keep an eye on how flat these pits are too. They're doing a great job, the officials, this week, and continue to do over tonight.
Tommy, David Radisha, as was the case last week in Melbourne, the world record holder over 800 metres, and he's back in action here tonight in Perth. Back in action in Perth for the first time ever in Perth.
Girls still going through their final attempts and warm-ups in the women's long jump. It's due to go at 6 p.m, so there's still a bit of time left. There's another few athletes out there who could do some great jumping, but we're going to launch it down to Robbo, who is on the field.
Thank you, Lynchy. Yeah, hopefully it's a night for some big launches down here in the sandpit, which is just behind me. These girls just warming things up at the little moment, getting their run-up sorted, looking pretty smooth. Just checked with the official there on the wind reading, and would you believe, only a few moments ago, a 4.2 was recorded tailwind. So I put a request in, just calm it down a little bit, please, and she tells me she might be able to control that. But anyway, we'll see what happens, but conditions are good. They're coming in behind. We've seen it the last couple of nights down here at the track that the wind has settled down a bit as the nights rolled on. So let's hope, fingers crossed, we can get some nice, strong, legal jumps. And once this competition starts, it's going to be eyes on, because some very big jumps could be produced.
Thanks, Robbo. Everybody here, all the locals have said that it does die down through the night. So 4 metres now. I'm tipping by the time these girls are jumping at the back end of their competition, we could be talking just below the legal limit, which, you know, we could see some big legal jumps.
Fingers crossed. The only problem is it's going to play a bit of havoc with their run-ups. If they're trying to get their run-ups sorted out with a 4.2, and when the competition rolls around it's only a 2, we may see a few fouls and a few off the back of the board jumps. But, you know, these guys are professionals. They do it a lot. They do it every weekend. They know how to adjust. Cut over to the pole vault. 5 metres 40. Oh, he's got it.
Woohoo!
The pressure is on now. 5 metres 40.
He got a clap on there. The crowd were really behind him. Training partner Curtis giving him some love.
Maybe that 6 metre call wasn't so big as before. Now, do they take a few poles out there of different heights as the bars go up?
So these boys will adjust poles as we look at that. He had a little bit on that, touched it with his chest, but he's got more in there. Maybe he is on for 6. But yeah, these boys will have a few poles in their bag. Perhaps we can have a chat to Joel Pocklington's pole to see if Joel Pocklington's pole has got a few mates as well.
Yeah, so after this jump, if his poles aren't listening, if he can send us a tweet maybe, and let us know.
To hear from you, Pocklington's pole.
Don't forget, hashtag Summer of Vats. If you want to have a chat with us, let us know what you're looking forward to. Did you enjoy the shots? What is your favourite event to watch at the Perth Track Classic?
He's had a couple of close attempts, Joel.
Oh, so close.
That looks like that was the last attempt there for Joel. Fortunately, competition over. If he's going to finish with a season's best, though.
And that'll give him confidence going into nationals. His training partner, the Frenchman, Flavien Basson, has been jumping really well, and the boys will go to Sydney in a few weeks' time, and Joel will be keen to get another national title under his belt. He's got a few now, but knowing that these boys that he's jumping against tonight will probably be there as well, he'll be keen to do whatever he can in the next couple of weeks to get that extra title under his belt.
Well, last year Angus Armstrong was the youngest ever Australian title holder in the pole vault, winning it in, I think, 18 years and only a couple of days. So quite experienced, Angus. He actually went to the World University Games before ever going to the World Juniors. So you don't often see that. Well, he's not at the World Juniors yet. World Under-20 champ, sorry, but yeah, you don't often see someone with that kind of world competition experience.
So we now have 3 juniors over 540.
That is correct. In the same season.
That is pretty impressive.
And 5.55 for those at home that don't know just yet, won the gold medal at the last World Juniors.
Oh, this is breaking my heart that one of them's going to miss out. Can't we take 3?
Just hide one in the luggage. I'm sure those pole bags, we could slip one inside. Angus down there on the runway, 5 metres 40. Not happy with that one.
He was a little bit close on that one. He might need to move his run up back, but unfortunately, yep, as we see the clap, third attempt there. 5.20, I think. We'll have to confirm that. I think he might have passed 5.30 to go 5.40.
It's going to be a headache for those selectors. Oh. If Carruthers can go a little bit higher, it might put him in the box seat.
Glad I'm not a selector.
Yeah. I don't know what they're going to do, but yeah, it's their decision. They get paid the big bucks to make the big decisions.
And as we see, the crowd's really building. Some exciting events still to come.
You would think unless they'd spoken to them earlier, the trials would be the trials, wouldn't they?
You do like to think so, but if someone did come out at this event and dropped a huge jump, it could sway the selection. But then again, yeah, head-to-head does work out. But we've got someone down at the pole vault. Mossy is pole vault side.
Yeah, thanks very much, Lynch. And I can tell you what, down here, we've got the wind, we've got the sun starting to set, but I tell you what, the crowd is absolutely on edge. They're getting off their seats, they're cheering every single jump, they're clapping those. As we've probably aware there that Curtis Marshall, well, he's passed at this height. It's about to go up. Declan Carruthers clear at 5.40, and we've got just saw there the national champion Angus Armstrong. Unfortunately, he bows out for tonight. And one of the great things I'm loving about the pole vault at the moment is we've got all these young kids who are now starting to really push up. I had a chance to catch up with Joel Pocklington at the airport on the way in here at Perth, and he was really excited about the future of pole vaulting. So stick around, there's plenty of action still going on here at the pole vault. The crowd's on their seat. Hopefully you are. I'm going to throw it back to you guys up there in the box.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant to hear that with Mossy when he talks about Joel leading the others, because I think that's what you're seeing with the depth coming through. Oh, here the girls on the long jump about to get their names announced. This is so exciting.
Yeah, looking forward to this one.
So yeah, from the left we have Andrea Thompson from the ACT. She jumped 6.03 at the under-20 champs just the other day. Laura Mellis from Western Australia. Carly Beattie, world record holder for her para classification. Actually, it looks like Laura Mellis isn't out there at the moment. Larissa Perry from Western Australia. Chelsea Yench, Karina Minko from Victoria. Na Anang from Queensland. Bronze medalist at the 2015 World University Games. She chopped a big 6.50 jump over there, so she's pretty close to that Rio qualifier. Talia Clark, who jumped 6.13 only last night. And Brooke Stratton, the Brooke Stratton, 6.94, second Australian all-time, only 6 centimetres off that elusive 7-metre mark. There are your starters in the long jump.
Long jump girls look pretty relaxed out there, don't they?
They do. The tunes are pumping. And they've seen some big jumps this weekend, and this is the pit where Fabrice Lapierre did launch himself to a 8.78. It was wind assisted, but I don't care about that. It's one of the biggest jumps of all time.
It was amazing. It looked like he wasn't going to land. He just kept going and going. And obviously Fabrice Lapierre, he is our silver medalist from the World Champs last year, and we have high hopes for him for these Olympics in Rio.
Carruthers there, getting the crowd behind him. No, it's Carruthers. I think they might need to change. There they go. They changed the board. 5.50 metres. The clap worked last time. See if it works again.
Ooh, great attempt too. Often when you go up heights to heights you've never been before, there's an element of hesitation. Oh, I've never been here before, I don't know what I'm doing, but yeah, that showed real commitment and guts from Declan there. It's exciting to see.
Would he still be on the same pole as he was for the vault before?
That little finger to the air suggests that he's asked his coach, maybe, can I go up a pole?
Yeah.
Which means it'll give him a little bit more height, hopefully.
And would he practiced on this pole that he's about to pull out if he does in training?
Good question.
Because
sure.
I mean, he's really improved his personal best by a lot tonight. So we're going into heights that he hasn't.
Yeah, he hasn't been to these heights before, so potentially he's going to the biggest pole he's been on. We'd have to check with him, but hopefully we can later. But
does the stiffness change in the poles as you get higher as well?
Yeah, so poles, as we discussed the other night, for those that are tuning in again, with Steve Hooker, come in different lengths as well as different flexes. So the longer and the stiffer the pole, generally the faster and more experienced athlete you need to be to use them. So yeah, if Declan, as an example just there, didn't quite get the height and was a bit soft, then he'll look at going up a pole.
Right now we do have the discus 3 starters. We've got the decathlete Jake Steen, Matt Denny, who was the 2013 World Youth Champion, and Julian Ruck, who is the second longest discus thrower of all time in Australia. He actually got a bronze medal at the World Juniors quite some time ago, back in 2010, so it's a pretty handy little field out there. Jake Stein, decathlete, won the octathlon at the World Youth in 2011, and then 2012 got silver in the decathlon, so it's pretty handy, and I think he's doing a couple of events tonight.
Yeah, well, World Youth record at that octathlon a few years ago. So yeah, really quality field here with these 3 boys all having represented Australia before. Jake's down for the Javelin as well, and we'll have to wait to see if he hurdles a little bit later. But trying to get in a couple of events before the National Multi-Championships in a couple of weeks. He'll have his eyes set on 8,100 points. That's the Rio qualifier for the decathlon.
He's talented. He can do it, can't he?
No doubt he can.
And he's moved to Perth. This is his new home base.
To train with Grant Ward, formerly looked after by his father. And yeah, he's made the trip over here, so it'll be exciting to see what he comes up with at Nationals on the back of some potentially new training methods and new training environment over here in Perth.
Yep.
As we see our first athlete on the long jump, Andrea Thompson, 6:03 the other night. She went to the World Youth Championships last year in Cali for the long jump. 6:20 is the mark to hit. Not a bad starting mark, getting close to that board. She's been given the white flag, but the red for wind. So that wind is over the allowable 2.0 metres per second. And I think that might be happening a lot this evening.
I don't mind. I'm still happy to see Brooke or Chelsea fly over 7 metres, even if it is a legal wind.
Oh, it's still just as impressive. Fabrice Lapierre, the same thing. 5.79 there, the first attempt for Andrew Thompson.
Richard Coleman has sent us a tweet about the wind. Strong tailwind will great athletes for tonight's Perth Track Classic. Looking forward to some very fast times. Well, Richard Coleman won the wheelchair 100-metre race last week in Melbourne.
He did last week, and I'm surprised that he's slacking off his job this week. He's a team manager for Athletics Victoria, but clearly enough time to shoot us a tweet, so thanks very much for that one, Richie.
Richard Coleman never short on a word, I would think.
He's good to have a chat with.
See Carly Beattie there on the runway, looking for a Rio. Sorry, I finished my sentence there. Rio Paralympic qualifier. Looks like just having a little bit of trouble there with the run-up.
The good signs there, Lynchy. The white flag did go up, so it might mean the wind's starting to die down into those legal realms we're looking for.
I always find that a bit disconcerting when you just do a pop-up and they still measure it. Comes up, oh, you only jumped 3 metres. Nice work. 392 is the official jump there for Carly.
392. She's probably not looking around for that one. She's a bit more interested in what Gary Bourne, the gentleman in that yellow shirt, has to say, her coach, who also coaches Chelsea Gench. And Bronwyn Thompson, the Australian record holder we spoke of before, was under Gary Bourne's guidance.
A lot of great athletes like Chelsea uproot their whole lives and move just to get coached by Gary.
She was actually training under Bronwyn for a little bit until Bronwyn retired, and then Gary took over. Bronwyn said, look, you need to look after this girl. She's got potential, and 670. There you go.
Well, if Bronwyn Thompson says you've got potential, you know you've got it.
Exactly. She knows what she's talking about. Na Anang, also coached by Gary Bourne.
Be great to see her sail over the Olympic standard too.
Oh, it would be.
Imagine if we get 3 girls on that plane. That would be just sensational.
Well, Na Nang's in great form as well, so she's up in a couple.
There are the discus throwers on the screen. Julian Ruck, you were telling me he's suffering from celiac, which is something that Brooke Stratton's got as well.
Yeah, so
Can't
I think
eat
it's
gluten.
No, and I think he's dropped a little bit of weight at the moment. He did go through a bulking phase, a very public bulking phase, where he got very, very big, but it did assist his throw. He's through 68.16, and there he is in the beard and long hair.
He's a handsome man, Julian Ruck.
You see Jake Steen, the decathlete, heading into the circle.
Not sure what's going on with the long hair with these boys, but hopefully it helps them throw far. And that looks like a really nice opener from Jake. He'll be wanting to build on that. Looks just short of 45. So his best is just under 50 from memory, which is a great performance for a decathlete.
Here's Chelsea on the run-up.
Yeah, on the runway, Chelsea Yench. 670, right on that qualifier down at the Canberra Track Classic. Wasn't she absolutely stoked? Oh, that looks pretty big.
That's a lovely opening jump on the white. Oh, the red flag on the board.
Red. That's a big jump.
That looks huge too.
She was given the white too, I'm pretty sure.
The win was good.
Oh, there's a 550. Again, Curtis Marshall.
Curtis Marshall in the background
pole vault. Just out of the corner of my eye. I guess it wasn't a fluke the other night.
No. Yep. We'll get you back to Curtis shortly as we find out from Gary Bourne what Chelsea's going to need to do with her run-up and takeoff.
Speaking to Chelsea, after she did her big jump in Canberra, she actually believes that it wasn't her best. She says her best is yet to come. She still feels like after that jump she still has a lot more to come, which is really exciting to see. And I think from watching that first jump, you can see her intentions have been made pretty clear. She's ready to jump far tonight.
Sounds like an elite athlete to me, Tamsin. Always wanting more, always knowing that there's more in the tank. It's the thing that drives us to go to training tomorrow, that better performance.
Don't you love it though? She's jumped a huge PB and she still thinks there's more. I love it.
It's that hunt for perfection, but you never really want to achieve that perfection. You just want to keep going and going and going. That's what drives you. We see Ruck through his first attempt out there. Season best of around that 58, so I think he's going to want to improve on that throw.
And as we watch Brooke strap back to her run-up, we just saw Corinna Minko open up with a 6:01, which is a solid jump.
We leave Brooke and we've gone to the discus.
It's Guy Henley in there at the moment. A para-athlete looking to look for Rio qualification. So this is a mixed event. We do have some para-athletes out there. Guy will be throwing a different weight to those athletes. There's the crowd there really filling up, getting the best seat in the house for the huge night of athletics here at the WA Athletics Stadium. Talia Clark next on the runway.
The crowd in Perth's always been very vocal as well. It's always one of the meets that the athletes love to come to because coming down that front straight, they really get behind the athletes.
They do, and it is perfect. It's built for jumps, this stadium. I feel it is the home of pole vault, I'd say, in Australia. There's Clark, 6 attempts to get that 620. Oh, getting very close to the edge there, but double red flag, foul, and a little bit too windy.
She would have watched Na Nang prior to her jump 6:20, the mark that she's looking for. So she'll be after that mark and a few more jumps for her to come. Just need to move the run up back, get a legal jump in. As we watch Brooke, the queen of the pit.
Yeah, her first attempt, she's just hiding behind that pole vault tent there at the time being.
She is a definite, genuine superstar of this event. Not just this event, our sport. I'm excited to see what Brooke's going to do later in Rio this year.
Here she goes. Oh, that's out there. Not a bad opener. Wind assisted, unfortunately. But it is a legal jump. It's not a foul. Looks like she might be around that 670. Just a good settler in the first round.
Well, every time she competes now, knowing that she's got her qualifier, it's good practice for Rio, what she's going to have to do. You want to have one hit the board early to take that pressure off. And if you can, hit the automatic qualifier for the final. So,
well, 671 there. Wind assisted doesn't matter. It doesn't matter for medals.
No.
So inner placing still counts.
Her consistency is the thing that's changed with Brooke. Every time she's out there, she is consistently in those high sixes, and it's brilliant.
Exactly. Andrea Thompson on the runway. There's plenty going on. The high jump is still warming up. The pole vault's still going on. The discus is going on. The long jump. So we'll try and catch as much as possible on
Doing
the Perth Track Classic. I'm trying. Andrea Thompson, 620. That's what she wants to hit. Well, that's pretty far out there, but I think she's going to get that red flag. A little bit of trivia. The man who's giving the flags to these athletes who are looking to go to Poland is Polish. So that's Tony Okolitz. He was singing the Polish national anthem to us earlier, and he wanted to have a go of the Polish flag. But there we go. We can see the officials just showing where the foot was and then flattening back out the clay.
Tony's almost on border control. He should have put the white flag up and just given her a ticket in.
Well, the flags he's holding, the red and the white, is the colour of Poland. So he would obviously know what to do with those flags. We did see some of these junior athletes using their emojis on Instagram and accidentally tweeting about the Indonesian flag, which is the opposite colours. It's white on the bottom, red on top. Not knowing that it's red on the bottom, white on top of Poland. But, you know, that's why we have the Flag Education Committee, which is mainly just Robbo, teaching them about the ways of the flag.
Carly on the runway. She'll be happy to get a safe jump out after the first one.
Yeah, 392, probably not the what she was looking for in the first attempt. Just obviously a bit of a runway malfunction, and 557.
Which, as you said, with that tailwind, it's going to cause a bit of havoc for the girls out there tonight.
Exactly. Beautiful.
Look at that sunset.
Beautiful sunset. Starting to settle down. It is starting a little bit cooler now. The wind also hopefully dropping below that legal limit. You see Larissa Perry, local Western Australian athlete. Well, that's another nice one out there.
News just in, the pole vault bar seems to be moved up to 5.61. We had a chat before that the other day Curtis Marshall put it to 5.62 out of respect to Paul Burgess, but I think this time round, and Budgie's probably told him, don't worry about the courtesies, let's just get you over a new Australian junior record. So the bar's at 5.61.
And Chelsea Ench there on the runway.
These are competitors in the Australian Junior Championship under 17 men's 400 metres.
There we go, Yanch, second round. Oh, that's not bad. Looks pretty happy with it. Oh, just unfortunately getting the red wind-assisted flag. 5.88, the jump for Lewis Perry on her attempt before.
So our quickest for West Australian.
67.
They fall back.
Now we got Mossy out there at the discus. I'm going to spin around and chuck it to you, Mossy.
Yeah, thanks very much, Lynchy. Spinning and chucking well. Perfect opportunity to do that because we're down here with Matt Denny from Queensland. Mate, you today so far 3 chucks, so 59.97 the first one. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I feel pretty decent. Like, I've been in good form at the moment. Like, PB at 63 a couple of weeks ago, and things have been going well. Hurt my ankle the other day, so I'm feeling good. It's just a matter of putting it together. The 59 I've done so far is sort of a bit off. It's going too high and sort of not actually getting through the disc. So conditions are good, so hopefully I can get something out.
Well, that's the interesting thing for those that aren't really familiar with the discus throw is that you are into a headwind and at times a mega headwind up to 4 and 5 as well. But that actually works to your advantage. Can you explain to the viewers how that happens?
Yeah, so it's practically like a plane. So like when you get more of a headwind, it creates more lift, gives the discus pushes under and sort of gives it that flight to keep going. And then when it's turning over, it keeps giving that push. For a right-hander, it's down the right-hand sector wind, and for a left-hander, it's left-hand sector wind. Preferably right-hand, but sometimes centre's not too bad. It's just, yeah, for open weights, like for 2 kilos and stuff, you want a strong one. And then for like the lighter weights, like the 1 kilo, you just want a mild wind, just sort of, because it turns it over too quickly, so.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, you've got more in you. We'll catch up with you a little bit later, and all the best. Back up to you, Lynchy.
Thank you, Mossy. It's good to hear that inside information from our discus throwers mid-competition.
2020 cricket's got nothing on this Athletics Australia live stream coverage of the Summer of Aths.
Yeah, maybe one day we'll mic them up, and when they get to that grunt round, it would be very loud. We might have to turn their volumes down a little bit when they get to that position. There's the crowd. Still having to block that sun. It is pretty bad. Everyone's getting the cameras out, trying to get the best film angles. The pit has been raked. The officials take their seat. Talia Clark up next on the runway. The wind for Chelsea Ench's jump before 6.67, and the wind a plus 3.7. So the old fish windsock out there is blowing around a fair bit. I'm just going to wait for that to settle down and hopefully not affect them too much.
Big Victorian, move through the 200 in front. On the outside, Jesse Schultz still doing well, and the Queenslander, Samuel Warner, also there.
Oh, just a little bit back off the board there, unfortunately, maybe moving her run up a little bit too far the wrong direction. Talia Clark might have to sort that out a little bit later. Just talking to her coach, Nicole Bogman, who actually has the meet record.
Pookie, her nickname. She was a great Australian long jumper. Went on heaps of teams through the 90s.
6.84 was the meet record. Well, still is actually, until someone may take it down tonight. Chelsea not too far away from that with a 6.67.
You'd be nervous if you were Nicole, wouldn't you?
Oh, you'd have to think so. You'd have to think so. Nicole and was on hand when Brooke did jump her 6.94 in Canberra. Was there to hand it over.
Very supportive and quick to congratulate, which was great.
Strut now on the runway.
So Curtis Marshall has been called for his attempt at 5.61. Pumping himself up. So bar at 5.61, Curtis Marshall national junior record on offer. But as we cross to Brooke Stratton, giving her dad a hug, we'll fill you in a few seconds on what just happened. The jump, five, add on a couple of metres, 7.05, a legal jump, and a new national open long jump record. Brooke Stratton, you legend.
Amazing.
7.05. That is unbelievable. Robbo is down with Brooke Stratton. Robbo.
Where am I going? I'm here somewhere. I've got Brooke Stratton with me, 7.05. Brookie, we've got the 2 white flags. That was all important. And you saw the 7 come up. You got pretty excited. Tell me what's going through your mind right now.
Oh, I honestly can't believe it. It's been a goal of mine to jump 7 metres for so long, and I just can't believe I finally jumped it. It's such a pinnacle in women's long jump to reach the 7 metre mark at an elite level, and I've finally done it, so I can't believe it.
I'm pinching myself that I'm even here. You've got some of the fine white sand of Perth over the face. That's going to be sacred, I'm sure. Keep it. That's going to be put in a jar. We'll let you go and prepare. You've still got 4 more jumps to go. I don't know how you prepare yourself for that, but we could go even bigger. And I'm going to let you keep concentrating. But thanks for chatting with us, and so pleased for you.
Thank you so much.
All right, there we go. Just confirming, guys, as well, the wind there. Can you guess? 2.0. Thank you very much, wind reading, for getting us legal there. And that was amazing. The crowd just off their seat there. Bronwyn Thompson, she's on Twitter. Someone hit her up now, at Bondi Gal. She needs to know what's just happened here. And hopefully we will see a little symbolic passing over of that Australian national champion. I've got hairs on the back of my neck standing up. So good. Back up to you guys.
Robbo, that was sensational. Brooke Stratton, what a star. 7.05, that's like, she's just catapulted herself up to talking about gold medal chance.
That's a gold medal. That's probably won a fair few national, world titles, Commonwealth Games, Olympics. That's getting you. That actually probably would have won the Athens when Bromwell came fourth.
That was just a phenomenal jump. And you know what? She made it look so effortless. She has got so much leap and bounce, doesn't she? Talk us through, Steve. You're the long jumper.
Tamsin, you can't cross to me now. I'm totally speechless. My goodness, she's worked so hard. I mean, she was injured. She struggled for a while with some back issues, and to get back to the level that she is, obviously she jumped awesome a couple of weeks ago, but 7.05, no words, honest, no words. Congrats, Brooke. Great work.
Lewis Perry there on the runway. Fingers crossed, 4 more rounds for the girls, so maybe we'll see a little bit more of an extension onto that 7.05.
Oh, fingers crossed.
There's some great long jumping out there.
All right, Chelsea's seen what Brooke's done. Let's see if it can rub off onto her and she can get a huge PB out as well.
Yeah, they will see that wind. The red flag went up for the last attempt as well for those other athletes, so you've got to pick your time. Pick the time to do it, and it's lucky for Brooke.
But it's your time, it's your time.
Clearly Brooke's time at the moment. Hopefully also Chelsea's time right now. 3rd attempt.
Oh, that's not bad either. It's going to be close. Had a good look.
Go for the white. Go for the white.
Oh, hang on. She's having a look. It's always good to have a look. Yeah. No, was it your shoe? I don't know. Oh, well, she's not going to fight it. Well, it's too late now to be checking it out. They've already raked up the pit. They'll fix that up.
Lynchy, I don't know if I can take any more excitement tonight.
It's only the first event. Got plenty more to go through now.
So we've seen a national open record. They don't happen every day, that's for sure. 7.05 in the long jump. We're looking at a potential new national junior record, 5.61 there at the pole vault. As we go back to the long jump, Corinna Minko's had a couple of good opening jumps. 6.01, I believe, on her first, and just under 6 on her second. And consistent again there. She's got the white flag. Illegal win, but good jump.
Well, doesn't that just set the tone for the night? The fact that an Australian record's gone. Australian records do not go every day. I mean, hardly at any meets do you see an Australian record go. We're talking one of the main events being the long jump women's. It's fantastic to see. And like we said, her record that she took was someone who finished at 4th at the Olympics with that jump of 7 metres. So congratulations, Brooke.
And she's in form. When Brooke jumps well, she jumps well. She's had a couple. Hopefully we've got some more coming soon.
We're going to go back out to Mossy. He's at the discus.
Yeah, just give you a little bit of a understanding of where we're at the moment. So the top three, we have Matt Denny on 59.97. That was on his first throw. Jake Steen, 45.39 on his third. He's actually in third, sorry. And Julian Ruck with a 59.44. So there's only a little bit less than 50 centimetres separating Matt Denny and Julian Ruck at the moment. And it is 4 rounds gone.
Thank you, Mossy. We are back again at the pole vault. Not sure what round it is. I think it might be his third. One more shot. He's decided, no, don't worry about the respect. He's going to have a crack. The Australian under-20 national record. Psyching himself up. Remember, guys, there is a lot going on at the track at the moment. It's hard to cover everything. There's things happening on all corners of the track, and we do as best as we can. We haven't got a million cameras, so we can't follow everyone at the same time.
And he's asking for crowd support.
Here we go. I wonder what Paul Burgess is doing right now.
He's probably clapping. He'll want Curtis to get over this just as much as Curtis, just as much as Curtis's mum. Just as much as all of us. Here he goes. 5.61. And not to be.
It's all right. He's still pretty stoked. Back-to-back 550s. He's in pretty good shape.
It's exciting. And these boys will go to Nationals in a couple of weeks' time. And 2 of those boys on screen, off to World Juniors.
Yeah,
but
well, we
have to wait for another week to find out.
That's right. You could see these boys, yeah, head-to-head again. Possibly at the Sydney Track Classic, possibly at the Open Nationals. Just running through what might have gone wrong there. Maybe next time we'll just go to 560 and just think, no, let's equal it now. That is the best we've ever had. 7.05 from Tim Rosen. Brooke Stratton, you're a superstar. And here she goes again. Round 3. She's already done 7.05.
Come on, Brooke.
Oh, it's well out there again.
Her consistency is just phenomenal, isn't it? I mean, imagine if she has a couple of jumps over 7 metres in this competition.
Oh, that would be
It
outstanding.
would be sky high.
We're going to find Robbo out there on the track. Robbo.
Thank you, Lynchy. Yeah, 6.69 there for Brooke Stratton. Now, I've got a quick stat. If we look at the history books at an Olympic Games level, every Olympic Games this millennium, that jump of 7.05 from Brooke Stratton would have got her a medal. Would have won her the gold in Sydney, the equal silver in Athens, the gold in Beijing, the bronze in London. That's the quality of that jump. We'll be talking about that for hopefully weeks and years and months from here on. But great jump. We'll keep you posted with more developments. We're coming up to the halfway stage down here at the long jump.
As you see, Denny launching it out there. Oh, that's not bad. He threw 60.85. In his 4th round attempt, he's got a PB this season of 63.02 that he threw in Auckland not long ago. 65 metres is the mark they want to hit to go to Rio. It looked like it was getting out there. This wind really helping hold that discus aloft just a little bit longer.
He's a character, Matt Denny, isn't he? He's got a circle in his house on his property, doesn't he, Matt?
He certainly does. 62.24, the 5th round attempt. He does. He's got a hammer cage. He's got a circle. He's got everything, and he doesn't need to go. It's a big, big property. He actually lives on Denny Lane.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
It's quite a big man, Matt Denny. That's the mark that those girls are looking for. 6.70 metres. And they're getting... All right, we're going to chuck it out to a break, and we'll be back with plenty more action at the 2016 Perth Track Classic.
Western Australia is extraordinary. Experience it this March. Discover hundreds more events and start experiencing now at westernaustralia.com/events.
Welcome back. You're watching the Perth Track Classic, and wow, what an evening we've had already. We have seen an Australian record. Brooke Stratton has leapt herself 7 metres and 5 centimetres. It's just a fantastic night of track and field. And we are heading to the high jump. Joel Baden, Joshua Connolly, Sean Sluslick, Joseph Baldwin, Thomas Brennan, Grant Sluslick. These names, come on, you can help me out with this one. Navraj Singh Randhawa.
Navraj, yes. Navraj Randhawa.
John Dodds and Brandon Stark. Sorry, Navraj, if I said your surname incorrectly. Obviously, he is a brilliant jumper.
He is a very good jumper. He's a 220-something man, so we'll be looking forward to seeing him shortly.
A few of those athletes will be looking for that 2:16.
2:25 he's jumped.
That World Junior qualifying mark. Josh Connolly, he actually jumped 2:16 and got the automatic qualifying position for Poland just the other night. That was a PB for him.
Always a great way to do it. The excitement levels through the roof.
We got John Dodds and the Zalek brothers, going for that 2:16. Hopefully they can use the West Australian crowd as we see Andrew Thompson getting a nice jump out there. Unfortunately getting the red wind flag, but still counts for gold medals.
It does, and you don't know the conditions you're going to get in Rio, so that's why I love seeing these girls always out there. When there's a meet on, they're competing, because you're getting used to the conditions, whether they're big tailwinds, no winds, hot conditions, cold, rain. You know, the girls don't shy away from the competition. I love seeing that.
Oh, that high jumper there, unfortunately just forgetting to jump and going under the bar instead.
Yeah, a bit tough to get a clearance if you don't jump there.
But very tough for those junior guys. 2:16, the starting height.
That's pretty tough, isn't it?
It's probably not tough for the open guys.
No.
But we've got some junior guys who need to actually clear that 2:16 for that World Under-20 Championship. So Dodd, Connolly jumped it the other night, but the other West Australian boys, Zalek brothers, they want to get that 16, so well, get it out of the way pretty early if they clear it.
They wouldn't have had a say in the starting height?
No, very doubtful, unfortunately, but these boys are capable. It's just a bit daunting when you've not actually cleared the height and you're asked to open on it.
the exciting stages already then. It's a big ask for these juniors to have performed during the week and got all their adrenaline and nerves out of the way. And then they have to come back.
Oh, that's John Dodds just knocking it off there. Talia Clark. John Dodds coached by Gary Bourne as well.
This is a solid jump. Ooh. White flags are up everywhere.
And fingers are crossed.
620 is all she needs.
620 is what she's after.
She so deserves it.
Oh, I don't think it was that time. We get right in there. 612. Ah, 612. She jumped 613 twice.
So she's a centimetre down off her PB. It's a great effort. It's not often that you see somebody disappointed with a jump that's so close to your personal best, but that's what's on the line here tonight.
And a centimetre, it's not a lot. She's still 8 centimetres tonight off that now very elusive 620 mark. Here we go, Karina Minko from Victoria. We're getting right out there. As we see Brody, our cameraman, getting all the best shots.
Obviously, the junior cut-off for World Juniors is later in the year because a lot of the other countries haven't started competing yet. So will some of our juniors perhaps get the chance to compete in some of the senior meets?
Unfortunately, the team does get selected Monday, I think.
No exceptions.
No exceptions, so it's closed. Juniors is the trials. It was different previous years, where some of the athletes could, if there was no one qualified, they can keep going. But they will name the automatic qualifiers and pick the rest of the teams after this junior championship. So it is a very cutthroat national titles.
So if Clark was, say, to go to national champs and jump 630 at the senior titles, she still can't get a ticket?
No, unfortunately not. She'd need to jump 670 if she wanted to get a ticket to go anywhere, so she'd have to go to Rio.
Oh, well, let's just do 670 at the nationals.
Yeah, that sounds better. Oh, that's pretty good. Na Anang, another of the Bourne athletes. Na, I'd have to say, is probably the best social media tags. The Chronicles of Na. And
perfect.
Oh, yeah, Na. So that's both Twitter and Instagram. Not sure which one's which, but no, they're good. I do like them.
See, parents really need to think about when they're naming their kids these days what they can use for social media tags.
Exactly.
And they have to be psychics too, knowing what the trends are going to be like in the future and where humour is at.
627 there for Na. Na's brother will actually be jumping in the triple jump later on this evening, so it's a very jumpy family.
Chelsea's back on the run-up. Trying to get some crowd support with the clap. And the Perth crowd is getting into it.
Here she goes. Oh, that's out big. There. It's getting the red wind flag. I don't know if you can see that out there. So it will be wind assisted, but not too shabby.
Okay, Chelsea's down there with Robbo.
Thank you very much, Tamsin. Yeah, Chelsea, look, you're peppering that 670 mark. Just unfortunately got one too many red flags on that one, but midway through the comp, how's it all feeling?
Really good. I just wanted to have some fun today. A lot of pressure's off and things have worked in training, so I want to try and bring that to the comp today. Having
got that 670 in Canberra a few weeks ago, yeah, you got that bit of relaxation now. You can just put it all out there. Yeah, I think finishing off the end of my jump's really important, and I'm just hoping that I can be consistently around that mark to ensure I tick the boxes to get selected. Great work. We're going to cross now to watch Brooke Stratton with her next attempt.
Oh, it's still out there. I think that might be a red. No. Well, unfortunately getting that red wind, but very, very consistent jumping. 669 for Chelsea, that jump before. So she's getting over that. She's getting very consistently around that 670. Wind not helping. 682.
Don't you love that she's just jumped 682 and she's laconic. She's relaxed, she's laid back. No, it's just a 6.82. It's not a 7.05 Australian record.
Yeah. Oh, can't I get Australian records every jump? Far out.
And we're talking 6.82 would have been her personal best coming into this season.
Oh, definitely.
That's how good she's going.
Really turning it on a lot this year. It's Carly Beattie now on the runway. Looking for that Paralympic qualifier for Rio.
So 4 rounds of the women's long jump competition.
Unfortunately, just missing there. Looks like the third attempt for one of our younger athletes.
Gary Bourne's getting some good air time. He'll be happy with that. What a squad of athletes he's got up there in Queensland at the moment for the jumps. Obviously, he was well known for the squad of boys he had. But the girls are making sure that they're the ones who are at the forefront of long jumping this season.
Yeah, they've definitely taken over as Mitch Watt seems to have gone over to Altus. Henry Frayne still trying to jump. Not sure what they're focusing on these days. Robbie Crowther still jumping as well. Jumped at Canberra for the first time.
He jumped at Melbourne Track Classic for the first time. And he was,
that was the first
obviously, he was just happy to be out there uninjured and getting a comp underway. But he'll be fine. He'll obviously set his target at jumping well at Nationals. And you can never write off Robbie Crowther.
Talia Clark there just trying to jump away from the camera.
And here's Singh Randwana, our Malaysian athlete, onto the runway, using plenty of the track there.
He's been training here this week under Alex Stewart. Very springy boy. Let's see what he's got here at 2:16.
Oh, just clipped it with his calves.
It looks like it will be competition there for Navraj. Third attempts.
He'll probably be disappointed with that, I would think, because he won Canberra with a PB.
Yeah, he did jump around the 220s at New South Wales State Champs as well. Yes, Tay Clark, we saw her dancing her way down the runway. Hopefully that gets her super pumped up. And gets her over that 620. 612 last attempt. Thing is, a night like this, she might have jumped 620, but it's got to be legal wind as well.
Oh, well, let's hope the weather gods are with her.
It's the kind of agony I don't wish on anyone. There's nothing worse than jumping a 620, looking back and seeing that red flag and knowing that you've got to do it again.
Oh. Let's get behind her. Will her pass that 620?
Oh, that's pretty big.
You can tell she's
getting
in
the
shape
double
to do
white.
it.
Yeah, definitely. She could choose any of these jumps. She has jumped over 13 metres in the triple and has jumped World Youth Qualifiers in the high. She's a very talented jumper. 6:03.
And white flags all round for that, so she'll have a couple more jumps. She knows it's in her.
I like her attitude. You know, she knows what's on the line and she knows that it hasn't quite gone right tonight, but she knows she's in personal best shape and she's still staying positive. She knows she's still got 2 more attempts.
There we go, Cedric Dubler, one of our greatest up-and-coming. He's actually the national under-20 record holder. Just welcoming Brooke Stratton to the Australian record fraternity.
Welcome to the live stream, Cedric.
Brooke does have a few junior national records, but now she's got the open one to add to that title. I'm sure Cedric will be trying to hunt for that 8100. He's not a bad long jumper himself.
Jumped 771 the other day.
He did. Queensland state champion in the pole vault, the hurdles and the long jump.
Oh,
sounds like a decathlete.
He does. He actually scalped Nick Huff in that hurdle, so it's not a bad scalp to have, yeah.
No, it's a close race. Very close race. No doubt Nick will come back stronger.
We'll see him over the hurdle shortly.
He's had a few issues this season, but we obviously know the talent of the man, so you can't write Nick off.
Well, he's busy building his
pretty clever.
giant.
Did you like it?
Good. Yeah. He's building his empire. Huff.
His little app?
Businessman. His TV show in China will be airing pretty soon. Here's Na Anang on the runway. 670 is what she's after.
Whoa. Oh. Red flag. Darn that red flag.
She knows that was big. Just checking it out. What could have been? I don't know. Would you rather look at it and see what it could have been, or just know that it's a foul and it doesn't even matter?
I quite like the jumpers when you ask them, though, how they went, and they say, I jumped this far, but then I had a really big foul of. Sounds good.
True. Sometimes they say, oh, yeah, it was over 8 metres. It was huge. I was like, was it? I was like, oh, yeah, no, I jumped that all the time at training.
And here we go, watching Dodds. As you saw, that bar was at 2:19. He cleared the previous bar of 2:16.
And we're going to throw it down to Mossy. He is at the high jump.
Yeah, guys, I'm down here at the high jump, and I tell you what, wonderful, wonderful scenes. Queenslander John Dodds, on his final attempt at 2:16, goes clear. Now, the beauty of that is, my friends, a World Junior qualifier. He is on the bus to Big Gosh. Absolutely sensational. He is the remaining competitor left in the competition, Brandon Stark. He's still in. He cleared at 2:08, 2:13, passed at 2:16, and the bar is now at 2:19 as we see him fail at that first attempt. So 2 left in the competition here with 2 jumps remaining at 2:19.
Stark and Dodds, the present and the future, going head to head, and they've both missed their first attempt at 2:19.
What a great effort by Josh. Great effort. John. Sorry, John.
John?
Oh, why I said Josh.
Josh Connolly is the other high jumper who's jumped 2:16. That's what it would be, of course.
I'm losing the plot.
Teamwork, guys.
I'm too excited from Brooke Stratton's 7:05.
Yeah, it's what a way to start the competition.
What an exciting way to make your World Junior team. Clutch jumping at its finest.
Especially jumping over here. He only got the bronze at the Under-20 Championships, but he is 17, so he can actually go to the 2018 World Under-20 Championships as well. Imagine that experience, jumping 2:16 and then going again maybe in 2 years.
Well, he may have learned a couple of lessons from the comp the other night. He jumped at 2:12, missed it, and then went to 2:16. Only had 2 attempts, so he may have had the 3 tonight, giving him more confidence. As we see Brooke Stratton getting the crowd behind her. We all know what she's jumped so far tonight. Can she go any further? That is the question. Here she goes.
What's up and out there?
You can tell from watching Brooke on the runway that she's worked really hard on her speed this season. She looks really fast and powerful.
Definitely. It's almost like the speed's just too much at times and is maybe over-rotating just a little bit. She's just got to get that under control, and we saw it. 7:05 is what could happen.
Yeah, when she gets all of those sections of the long jump right, she's unbeatable almost.
Exciting to know that there's still improvement on a 7:05.
Look how excited her dad looks.
Great to
like,
see,
just
Russ.
do what you did at that 7:05, Brooke.
Yeah.
Just do that again and again and again, and you'll be right.
It's great to see the relationship, father-daughter, coach-athlete relationship. They get along well. They spend a lot of time together, obviously at home, but at the track too. They're travelling all around Australia and no doubt the world over the next handful of months as they prepare for Rio.
Sometimes that can be difficult. You don't know when the dad and the coach meets and ends, but I guess it's working for them at the moment.
It's been a lot of successful relationship coach. So like Debbie Flintoff-King with Phil King, a lot of coaching relationships that have been successful. I guess it's just leaving it at the door when you go home.
Now we're going to cut to a break and we're back again with plenty more action.
Western Australia is extraordinary. Experience it this March. Discover hundreds more events and start experiencing now at westernaustralia.com/events.
There we go, the high jump, 2:22. Richie Benno
Would be proud.
He would be. The bar up there, 2:22. Just waiting to see who is left over there. Stark, I can see, just taking a seat over at the water jump.
And it looks like Joel Baden is walking over to coach Sandro Bisetto to get a few tips. Hopefully he's still in there as well. We'll update you on that shortly.
Next event on the track, we do have some 100-metre hurdles, and there it is on the inside. Kiara Redingus, Kira Womersley, Phoebe Edwards, Elizabeth Clay, Brianna Bean, Danielle Shaw, Razvinda Gill, Shannon McCann and Rachel Pace.
Well, this race is going to be fascinating. Obviously, Brianna Bean is the one to watch, but we see Shannon McCann's coming back. This is her first race in a very long time. She's coming back from injury, so it'll be interesting to see what sort of shape she's in. But Brianna, she is pushing very close to that Olympic qualifier, and wouldn't it be fantastic if she could do it in front of her home crowd?
Yeah, 13:18 was a PB before this season. She jumped to 13:17, and she is in very good shape.
Obviously, we have a few of the juniors in this race. That race was exciting and eventful, to say the least.
Very dramatic.
It was very dramatic, and it was heartbreaking as well. I think in that race you saw the highs and lows of athletics just unfold in front of us. We saw the winner ecstatic. She booked her ticket to the World Juniors, and then you saw the two girls with the qualifiers behind her tumbling and crashing to the floor. That's hurdles for you.
So Brianna Bean in lane 5, the athlete to keep an eye on. 13:00 is what we want to see come up on the clock, but we also want to see the wind read 2.0 or less. So we can see her possibly booking herself to Rio. And what a team. 3 hurdlers. We could have 3 long jumpers. We could have 3 hurdlers. Jenica and Pearson, probably the ones who are going to make their way over there. Jenica's got the World Indoors coming up. Jenica's first ever indoor race will be the heat at World Indoors, so I'm not sure how that will affect her.
I think it'll actually suit her. 60 metres, she's very fast out, so I think 60-metre hurdles will possibly be her race.
She will be able to power her way out of those blocks. There's only 5 flights, I think, for a 60-metre hurdles.
And then she has to do the big crash and bang into the wall at the end.
It's the best bit. So we've got a few actually backing up from that dramatic final. Rachel Pace, Danielle Shaw and Kira Womersley.
Well, Rachel Pace was also affected. She had to stop the race because when Danielle Shaw hit her hurdle, it went flying into poor Rachel's lane, so Rachel couldn't finish the race either. So it was a complete schmozzle, but that's hurdle racing. And, you know, I think it's one of the races that's the most intense at the start line, because you know the 110 hurdles and the 100-metre hurdles, there could be a lot of action happen in it. So.
And you obviously want to get as close as you can to those hurdles, so your flight time is low, but there is that small area. Steve, I know you go over the 106s a little bit.
Yeah, indeed, and we've spoken a lot about the wind tonight, and it does play a part. They had a 3.4 tail in that under-20 final the other night, as we see Daniel Shaw on screen, and it can just push you a little bit faster than you've ever been before. You get that little bit close, and you have to adjust accordingly, and sometimes when you haven't been that fast, you don't know what to do. But really excited to see these girls that are backing up go a little quicker than they did the other night. Again, it'll challenge the selectors, because Celeste Mucci's booked her ticket, winning the race the other night. Oh, something's not quite right. The girls are putting their hand up.
Brianna can't hear. She can't hear the starters' commands.
Yeah, there has been a few of the other races tonight having to be called back. Oh, no.
And again,
something's going on down there.
It is a very physical race, the hurdles. I remember Sally Pearson telling me how sometimes the girls hit you mid-race.
I've definitely been hit.
Not on purpose.
No, not on purpose.
Hopefully.
They just veer.
So we've got a couple of races here. We've got the girls up front, as we mentioned, Brianna Bean, PB 13.17, but she's going for that 13.00 for sure. Shannon McCann, interested to see where she's at. First race back in a long time.
Liz Clay can run a 13.6. She's done it before. She made the national final. She did it in Canberra as well. But here we go. Perth Track Classic, 100-metre hurdles. There we go, Brianna Bean getting a very, very fast start, and now she's starting to pull away from the field. Clay on her inside. In second place, Shaw running well. Brianna Bean hunting for that 13.00. Let's see what she can do as she crosses the line. 13.08. That is a PB, the win plus 1.1. Very, very fast. That's the unofficial time. It could get rounded down, but she is very stoked. That's going to put her in rare territory. That's going to move her way up in the Australian all-time rankings.
What a great race, and it's nice to see her happy with the personal best, because obviously she could be disappointed with the fact that she's just missed that Olympic qualifier, but she is so close now.
It actually got rounded up, unfortunately, to 13.11.
That's a little harsh.
That's still a PB, but sometimes it does happen if we use beams. But here we go, let's go through the Adidas replay.
She's so quick out, Brenna. You can see by how her reaction, she gets first to that first hurdle, and her action, she's crisp. She snaps that lead leg down so fast and runs off the hurdle beautifully. She's moving so well. You can tell how well she's run just by how much she's gapped the second place getter.
And Danielle Shaw finishing with a PB 13.77. So that is going to cause a headache for our selectors. We've got Rob at trackside with the winner of the new PB, Brianna Bean.
Brianna Bean, you start winning races like that and you get your face on the live stream. It's about time we had a chat with you. 13.11 with a 1.1 there. You've moved yourself into the top 10 all-time, number 9 on the all-time Australian list. How's it feeling?
Amazing. It's just been such an amazing coming up season. I'm so close. I just got to execute that good race, but to do this at home in front of this amazing crowd is amazing.
I was going to ask you, what does that feel? Does it feel like it gives you that extra bit of a push? It's a full stand here tonight. You're on your home deck. It's a beautiful Perth night, and you've got that nice tailwind to help you along there. What's next for you?
At this stage, we're looking for Queensland, so we'll follow the next track classic and then nationals. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes from there.
Well, hopefully this isn't the last chat we have with you this season. Well done once again. Great stuff, and I'm going to throw it back up to Lynchy.
Thank you, Robert. We'll see Brianna again later tonight if she's fit in the 100. She just dropped a PB in the hurdle, so maybe she can back it up again. 2 PBs in the same night would be very, very handy.
And watching that race, you can see improvement. She can go faster. She can definitely break that 13-second barrier. I think when you bring in Michelle Deneke and Sally Pearson, hopefully by nationals, that will be enough to bring her through, drag her through her personal best.
There's the Adidas results there. Brianna Bean, 13.11. Liz Clay, 13.73. And Danielle Shaw with a new PB, 13.77. That will cause some headaches for the selectors. Gabriella O'Grady is run at 13.65. Shaw backed up with a 77. I don't know what they're going to do.
It's a shame O'Grady wasn't in the race.
It would have been good to see another head-to-head with those athletes, but Danielle Shaw did go to the World Under-18 Champs last year in Cali, so she has that big race experience. You can see some of our female pole vaulters just going through their last warm-ups on the bungee bar. And the officials out there working on some more of our hurdle events.
We heard Brianna talk about the great crowd. There they are. They are always very supportive of the athletes. It's fantastic to see. Every athlete loves competing at the Perth Track Classic just because they know that the crowd's going to come out and be really supportive of them.
Certainly, and with the juniors on at the same time, we do have that effect of almost 2,000 athletes competing here over the days. We do have another day Sunday. It's been going on since Tuesday. Parents come along with their kids, so one kid could equal 2 parents. There's almost 6,000 people potentially to turn up to the Perth Track Classic while the juniors is on.
David Tarbotton, good old Tarby, master coach behind Brooke Stratton's new Australian long jump record, 7.05. Her dad, Russell Tarby, he's a great man of New South Wales athletics.
Stat man.
He knows his social media too, getting that right. Hashtag Summer of Aths 2016.
That's right. If you want to use that hashtag Summer of Aths, get your tweets out there on the live stream at the Perth Track Classic.
And as we can see in the background there, the hill, there's nothing going on the back straight at the moment, but they're gathering, no doubt getting a good seat for the 800 metres, one of a few races that they'll see running around shortly.
And there's the flags. That's what's available this year. Obviously Australia, the chance to represent Australia at either Poland, at Bydgoszcz, at the World Under-20 Champs, or Rio for the Paralympics and the Olympic Games. That's Poland, a beautiful sunset.
White on top, red on bottom.
That's correct.
Okay,
Robbo.
boys, let's go down to Robbo, his track side.
Thanks, Tamsin and Lynchy. Very special guest down here. It's Brooke Stratton, the queen of the pit, and she's now the best all time. Brooke, have you had a bit more time to reflect on what you've achieved here tonight?
No, honestly can't believe it. It's so crazy to have jumped over 7 metres for the first time, and to have also broken the Australian record. It's something pretty crazy. Like, it's pretty special to have jumped the furthest any Australian women's jumped.
When you woke up this morning, could you feel it in your bones? Did you feel like, you know, things have been coming together, hopefully good conditions here tonight? Was there a little bit of you thinking, yeah, I might just get out to that 7 metres tonight?
Yeah, I felt pretty sick all morning.
Yeah, right.
I think I just had a lot of pressure on myself to jump the 7 metre mark, so it's a massive relief, and yeah, I'm just so glad that I was able to reach that special mark.
Well, all the very best. What a great confidence boost before the World Indoors over there. You won't have the wind to contend with over there, but all the very best. We'll be cheering for both yourself and Chelsea, and well done on giving us such entertainment here tonight.
No worries. Thank you so much.
Back up to you, Lynchy.
Thanks, Robbo and Brooke. We're off to a break. Stick around, plenty more action to come. You're watching the 2016 Australian Athletics Tour. This is the Perth Track Classic.
The IAAF Nestle Healthy Active Kids Athletics program is fun, fast and awesome. It's an action-packed program filled with activities for all abilities from 5 to 12 years old. It's fun, fast and awesome. You can enjoy this program too now through the Sporting Schools program in primary schools across Australia. Come on, join us and sign up for athletics. For more information, check out athletics.com.au.
There we go. Look at that picturesque. It is perfect, perfect Perth. Perfect. Beautiful sunset. The wind is settling down now, and it is amazing. We do have a hurdles race. It's a one-on-one battle going past the screen. High jump there, moving up nice and high. Mossy's out there. Mossy, what have you got for us?
Well, I can tell you, the high jump, it's over. Okay, we had Brandon Stark. He has won the high jump today with a 2.22. He went and skipped all the way up to 2.29, where he failed, and unfortunately he's out of the competition. That was, of course, an Olympic game qualifier. Joel Baden, and unfortunately I missed Joel Baden a little bit earlier. He came in second, winning on a countback at 2.16, and John Dodds, 2.16, went clear, jumped up to 2.19, had one jump. He's injured. He's gone to seek medical treatment. We're trying to find out what it is, but that doesn't bode too well for him, considering he's got the World Junior Championships now coming up. But I'll keep you updated with that.
Thank you very much, Mossy. Yes, World Junior Championships possibility now for John Dodds with that 2.16 jump. There we go. Very shortly we will have the women's pole vault getting underway in front of the stands. We've seen some big jumps by the men. At the last Perth Track Classic in 2015, we saw Nina Kennedy launch herself 4.59, the highest under-20 outdoor jump of all time at the time. And we see that beautiful, beautiful shades of sunset. We're not actually staring into the sun anymore, but there's the start list for the women's pole vault. Lauren Hyde cooling, Alana Doust, Vicky Parnov, Liz Parnov, Jamie Scroop and Nina Kennedy. So all Western Australians there except for Jamie Scroop. And looks like Liz is going by Liz Parnov this time and not Elizaveta Parnova.
Gotta love the Parnov girls. They bring some colour to the pole vault, don't they?
They certainly do. And it's going to be an Adidas fest down there at the pole vault.
There's Nina Kennedy.
That'll be kicking off in 20 minutes. They do like a large warm-up in the pole vault. I suppose it is, there's only one place where you can do your warm-up properly, and that is actually on the runway with the bags. So they need to get out there nice and early. Call time 70 minutes sometimes for the vault, so they are out there early, but we have 20 minutes till that gets underway. Oh, down at the finish line, the VIPs, the best spot on the track, apart from where we are standing, obviously, and Mossy and Robbo running around. They've got the second best, and they're enjoying a beautiful Saturday night in the Western capital. See our young athletes warming up. That looks like Lauren Hyde cooling. She'll be probably pretty excited to be in this field. First height will be 350 in this pole vault. Let's see if Nina Kennedy's out there. She looks like she's going to be competing.
She's out there. She's ready to go. She's already stripped off. She's got her crop top on and her bike shorts and ready to go.
And the other night she did already book her spot to Poland for the World Under-20 Championships, but I think she might be hunting that Olympic qualifier of 4 metres 50, and I think that's what all the girls will be looking for this evening.
Well, you know she can do it. She's vaulted that high before. You forget she's still so young. She's only 18 years old. She went to her first World Championships last year as a 17-year-old, which is, you know, it's a big ask, and she probably learned a lot from being over there, and she's come back. And that transition age of a girl when they're 15, 16 to the 20s, it's a really tough period for girls, but she's still out there and she's doing well. So no matter what happens this season for Nina, she's a big star of the event going forward.
Yeah, definitely. And that jump last year, the 4:59 here at the 2015 Perth Track Classic, certainly did the rounds on all the news stations because it was huge, huge news, and she was absolutely pumped. She was pumped when she jumped 450.
Yeah, it was
finished
huge.
with a 4:59. That is outstanding. As we can see, the Western Australian athletes, there's a bevy of swans out on the back straight using those Western Athletics WA branded beanbags, getting a nice spot on the back straight, and like Steve said before, for that Rhodesia cut across down the back. Setting up for the triple jump, the men's triple jump that will be on later on this evening.
I love how they've left the scoreboard there at 7:05 for anyone that unfortunately got here late.
And down on the track we have Spin King Matt Denny with Robbo.
62.84, the winning mark for the men's discus here tonight. And I've got the fellow that was responsible for that winning throw. It is none other than the man from Allawarra up in Queensland, Matt Denny. Matty, congratulations, mate, first of all. How was your reaction with that comp tonight?
I was right. Like we had a good headwind. It sort of started to change a bit. It was back and forth from left to right. So for 62.84, I was pretty happy with, considering it's close to my PB, and I was really missing a lot of the throws. I wasn't really connecting and sort of getting some drive through it. So I know there's a lot more there. I was really frustrated because I threw a 61 that went like head height on my 6th round, but I thought it was 5th. So I thought, all right, I got one more. And then they told me it was last round, so I was a bit annoyed at that, but yeah, what you can do.
And recently getting up into the 63-metre club, mate, and not too far away from that Rio qualifier. You think you've got one in you between now and Nationals?
Yeah, well, like the plan this year, plan tonight was to come out and try and throw massive. And we were going to train through Brisbane next week and then head off to Nationals. But yeah, that was the plan tonight, but it just didn't get there. So sort of back to the drawing board, work on some things and just move towards Nationals. I know it's there. It's just a matter of, like any athlete knows, is putting it together in the competition. So,
well, mate, we look forward to seeing you in 3 weeks' time. I believe Ben Harridan's going to be there as well. Throw in Julian Ruck. It's going to be a ding-dong battle in the men's discus. Well done once again tonight. I'm going to throw it back up to Tamsin and Lynchy.
Thanks, Robbo. And Matt, it's always nice to hear an athlete talk about how he thinks that he can still get that Olympic qualifier. So obviously he's 2 metres off it on personal best, but you know, I wouldn't bet against Matt. He's one of those kids who he's only still very young, but he's always achieved what he set out to achieve. So I think come Nationals, he's had a victory over Julian Ruck, who's obviously a big athlete. Let's just go to Brett Robinson's tweet. Wow, Brooke Stratz amazes me every time she jumps. Girl has hops. I always like Brett Robinson's tweets. He's quite funny. If you ever want to laugh, go to Brett Robinson's tweet. He's a funny boy.
And we do have an update from Mossy. He's out there on the field. Mossy.
Yeah, g'day guys. Thanks very much. Yes, the mixed javelin tonight, so the women's and the men's, not too far away. The wind is absolutely swirling at the moment. I've got a windsock in front of me here at the high jump, and as I said that, it absolutely dies down and goes dead. But we expect that the wind will slip down a little bit. Now, that may come into handy when we look at Hamish Peacock tonight. He's going for that qualifier at 85 metres. He has to really launch it out there. His PB is 83.31, so he has to go a little bit better than that today. But I tell you what, with these kind of conditions, a nice big crowd down here and a little bit of wind behind him, who knows, we may see an Olympic Games qualifier down here at the Javelin. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Mossy. That would be great to see. We saw Kath Mitchell last week throw an Olympic qualifier at the IAAF Melbourne World Challenge. Maybe Hamish can get on board and get past that 83-metre mark. That would be beautiful to see. There's nothing more impressive than seeing a giant spear flying through the air, and we can see the lines are marked out there.
That's a tough qualifying mark. 83 metres, that's a decent mark.
Yeah, he's done it before. His PB is 83.31, so he knows it's in him. He's already thrown an 82.76 this season. He got a bronze medal at the Commonwealth Games. He's a quality athlete, and fingers crossed for him tonight.
Even that fact says that that qualifying standard is a very tough standard. So if he can throw that 83 and get onto the plane, I think you'll find that he's one of the athletes to watch to push on to the finals.
I'm pretty sure Rio was won by, London was won by a young fella from Trinidad and Tobago, and it was only around the 84, 85 metre mark. So you get up in those 83s, there's a good chance you can medal.
Yeah, that's a really tough standard. I mean, you've seen some of the standards from London have dropped quite a lot. There's events where they've stayed the same, but the men's javelin, that seems like a tough qualifier. So I really hope that he gets that standard tonight. He deserves to be on that plane.
And you know you'll be in good shape
too. You know, they're coming through. Luke Can went to the Commonwealth Games as well. He's 21 now. And Reece Steen, we saw Jake before doing the discus. His younger brother, Reece, is throwing bigger and bigger every session.
Yeah.
77.34 is his PB. He got that recently. So, yeah, keen to see what he can do.
I think he's thrown that twice now, actually, that exact same distance twice.
And that's him
you
there.
You couldn't do that again if you tried.
Oh, no way.
That was him in the hat there as we watch Hamish giving that javelin a little fishtail at the end. Warming up between the 65-70 metre mark, which is not bad off a few steps.
Well, we saw Catherine Mitchell wait till the last round of throws last week at Melbourne to do her qualifier. So they've got 6 attempts.
And I think that's part of the reason that she's come over to Perth to have another throw. She hasn't done a lot of full run-up competitions. Actually bumped into her at breakfast this morning. She had some scrambled eggs on the plate and was explaining how
delicious.
She's looking for a couple of more full run-up competitions to get that form under the belt.
And we got Robbo down trackside for an interview. Robbo.
Thank you, Lynchy. I certainly do. I feel like I'm very much vertically challenged here next to the big guy, Henley. He's taking out the para discus here tonight with a throw of 50 metres and 20 centimetres. And, Guy, you've had some happy memories on the Perth track here. Last year you got a PB. How was it out there tonight?
The conditions were really good. Like, it's one of my favourite tracks to come down to. I didn't really throw very well, but just getting out there, just have a crack with all the big guys, it was really good. And getting a lot of experience out of it, ready for next week in Nationals coming up.
And you've got the silver medal from the IPC World Champs over in Doha. You've effectively booked that seat on the plane. I know we're a little bit off that, but you've got the Rio qualifier, which is over 52. But what do you think you can do between now and Rio, should you get selected for that? How much bigger do you reckon you can go?
I reckon I could probably sneak a couple of metres out of it. It's been really good leading up to probably these few comps. been training really well during the week. And so, yeah, I'm looking to crack out a couple of 55s, 56s, hopefully break the world record. And if I can do it in Rio, it'll be a bonus.
That's your own world record?
No, it's actually held by a Chinese guy that got it in 2012. So I like,
Bit of fire in the belly. Well done once again tonight. Congratulations. And we'll catch up with you again shortly, I'm sure. Back up to you guys.
Thanks, Robbo. It's always nice when they talk world record attempts, isn't it?
Yeah, just like, I'll just try and get the world record, and if I do, that'd be pretty cool. Just casually world record talk.
The women's javelin start list is up.
There we are. Kiara Redingus, Tiana List, Amanda Murphy and Catherine Mitchell. Kiara, I think we saw in the long jump earlier too. She looks like a multi-athlete.
Is it tough as a multi-athlete when you head out to compete and you're competing against people who they're specialists in events and you go into the event, Steve, being a decathlete? Is that hard at Grand Prix when you come in and you know you're not the best in the event but you need the race practice?
Yes and no. We'll get back to that once we look through the men's javelin list. Andrew Fraser, Reece Steen, Luke Can, Leslie Copeland and Hamish Peacock. It can be. Everyone's obviously different. Some people thrive on the opportunity to compete with the bigger boys or girls in that event. And then some people can get put off by it, not feeling like they're in that same league. But
notice I never saw you take the start list of a 1500 of a track classic.
No. I could probably pace them for 300 metres.
They're pretty good, our boys, though, aren't they?
Other than that, I think even the 400, those guys fly around.
Here's a nice little join between our juniors and Rios. Hamish Peacock actually went to the 2008 World Junior Champs when it was in Bidgosh for the first time and grabbed himself a medal. So he has been there before. So maybe we got our under-20 Jav boys throwing tomorrow. Maybe they can ask him, what's it like? Where's the good cafes? Where can I hang out? And how can I get myself a medal as well, just like you did?
Yeah, and speaking of under-20 javelin throwers, Tiana List is actually an under-18 jav thrower, but she won the under-20 title on Wednesday night. She threw just over 48 metres, 48.02 I believe.
Yeah.
And her qualifier for Bidgosh, the World Under-20 Champs, is 49.5. So looking forward to getting her across that line.
Do you coach a javelin thrower from Victoria?
There's currently one girl, her name's Catherine Brooks. I'm hoping she'll be watching. Hi, Catherine, if you're at home. Recovering from a bit of a sore knee at the moment. She threw 51 on her first full run-up comp of the year. That was only a few weeks ago, so yeah, she had an operation mid last year, but has come back really well from that, threw really well. And yeah, fingers crossed for the rest of the year.
Javelin must be so tough on the body because you always hear about their injuries and the operations that they have. Like the amount of times you hear one of the javelin throwers saying, yeah, I've just had my shoulder cleaned out. It must be really tough on the body.
Yeah, I guess similar to the footy players. You finish the season and you just go say hi to the surgeon. Like a week in Bali for some, you just go in and get things cleaned out, as you said.
We're going to go to a break now and we're going to come back with more javelin action.
Western Australia is extraordinary. Experience it this March. Discover hundreds more events and start experiencing now at westernaustralia.com/events.
To be famous for my face. I want to be famous for my heart.
Australian Athletics Tour, you're watching the Perth Track Classic and we are about to head into an action-packed section of athletics as we head over to the javelin.
Here we go, Tiana List, first attempt. Ooh. Although that screen is very, very handy for our athletes, sometimes our camera angles start to make it a little bit tough to see where those spears are going to land. But it does make for a beautiful viewing race as we see one of our athletics events on the inside. Lachlan McDermott on the inside. He got disqualified earlier today in the under-20s 100. He's a very, very handy sprinter. 10.57. He's pretty stoked. That would be a PB. The wind, unfortunately, a plus 2.4. Very unfortunate, Lachlan, this morning. He was in line for maybe one of those 4x1 junior spots. Disqualified, false started in the heats this morning.
Oh, no.
Thankfully, got himself in a lane out here just to prove what he can do. 10.56 there, rounded down. Burdett and Borowski there, 10.75, 10.76 for the two of those. So hopefully the selectors are watching that and they know what he can do. And sometimes you just can't help it. You get disqualified. That's just the way it goes.
It's a hard rule, the starting rule now. You mean...
No false starts.
None
no
at
false
all.
starts. It's tough. And thankfully in a relay, you've got 4 guys. You only need 1 starter. So maybe on a running start, he's good down the back straight. And he's shown that with that 10.5, he's in good form.
Yeah, very, very handy sprinter there. And he looks pretty stoked that he's happy with the run. And there's those javelins still going out there, getting out around the 75 mark. I think they might be still going through their practice throws.
And that's Luke Can there. Hasn't been over in WA for too long. He's a Victorian boy. Went to Haileybury College and has moved over to WA to train with Kim Mickle, Grant Ward. They've got a pretty good stable over here. Some great facilities, and we mentioned Jake Stein has also hopped over here.
And the more and more I stay out in Perth, I feel like, yeah, I could move here. I could move here. If it only was a little bit closer.
To what?
Everything else. But there's the start list for the Perth Track Classic. 100 metres. Ella Party in 1. Eliza Wilson 2. Georgia Hulls 3. Shabrani Nanda 4. Toya Whistle 5. Oh, sorry, in 6. Brianna Bean 7. Wendy Seegers 8. And Emily Longo in lane 9. And I don't think we're going to have Brianna Bean out there. I'm just having a look. No, we definitely do.
That's great that she's backed up.
Yeah.
Personal best in the 100 hurdles. Toya Whistle's an interesting one. She used to train alongside Sally Pearson, but she's changed coaches. She now trains with Tony Fairweather, who guided Josh Ross to his Olympics up there in the Gold Coast.
That's her, pretty in pink.
She's been absolutely dominant in the Queensland Shield meets this season. And we've got Robbo down on the track with an interview.
Thank you, Lynchy. I've got a few of the signets here. Yes, they are the young swans from Athletics WA. Who have I got here? I think it's Jack, isn't it?
Yeah.
Jack, how's your week been? You've been competing in the Nationals?
Yes, I throw tomorrow.
Tomorrow, what do you got?
Under 20s javelin.
All right, now we've got a couple of lives here as well. Liv number 1, what have you been competing in this week?
I had under 17s and under 20s pole vault.
Good. You happy with how you went?
Yeah, very.
All right, Cooper, how'd you go, mate?
I've done the under 18s 200 and the under 18s 4x1. We've got a bronze in 4x1. Just missed out in the final under 18s 200, so not happy with that. But.
Okay, well, something to work on there. And finally, Liv, number 2, how's your week been?
Yeah, it's been pretty good. Yeah.
What have you competed in?
I had long jump on Wednesday and triple yesterday and made the top 8 in both, so I'm pretty happy.
Congratulations. And what's the vibe been like, quickly, in the camp WA? Yeah?
Bit of banter.
Who's your favourite, quickly? Jack, I'm going to ask you, who's your favourite WA athlete of all time?
Probably either Luke Can or Chris Hogan, javelin throwers.
Right, there you go. Well, that's a wrap from the Signets, the baby swans, and I'm going to send it back up to you, Tamsin.
Thanks, Robbo. Isn't it great hearing from the future stars of our sport?
It's good to know that they do know their athletes in their event. You get a lot of some of these juniors, they might be so fresh, they don't even know who they want to aspire to and who to look up to. And obviously he's a big fan of the newly local Luke Can and the local Cruz Hogan in the javelin.
And we see Wendy Seegers there on screen. I'm sure she won't mind us letting you all know that she's 40 years of age with a PB of 11.18. So she's, by PBs, the quickest in the field. Don't expect her to run a PB tonight, but let's see if she can...
you never know. You know.
maybe I've thrown down the challenge and we'll see her fly and take the win here tonight.
Well, we did talk about earlier someone breaking 10, didn't you, Matt?
I did.
In the 100?
Hey.
With the win behind you?
I said Carruthers would jump 6.
I take it back. Let's expect Wendy
She's going
to
sub 11.
run a PB. She's going sub 11.
You've got to make the big calls because if it comes true, you're the one that said it first.
What a great effort by her to be out there at the age of 40. It's reminiscent of the great Merlene Ottey, who's still out there performing year after year at a high standard. But obviously the Perth track is going to be hosting the World Masters later on this year, so she might have come across to see what the track's like, get used to it. And
well, she's already dropped a windy 11.9 this year, so it's very, very handy.
It's not bad. That is not bad at all.
So we go again. Let's go through. We got Ella Party in the inside, Eliza Wilson, Georgia Hulls, our Indian friend Shabrani Nanda, our Queenslander Toya Whistler, who competes for Papua New Guinea, Brianna Bean, who already won the hurdles, Wendy Seegers, the Masters athlete, and Emily Longo. Ella Party actually is a T38 athlete, a para athlete. She competed at the Commonwealth Games in the long jump in 2014. So she's out there having a good... It's good to get... A lot of times we can't get every event in these Perth Track Classics, so it's good to see everyone out there having a go.
Really interested to see how Brianna goes in this after her hurdles, because she travelled to the World Relays as a member of the 4x1 team last year to the Bahamas for the World Relay Championships. She's very quick over the flat, and I think obviously by her hurdles personal best, she's in PB flat speed as well, because she looked very fast over those hurdles in between them. So if she gets her head switched on and she can come down from that PB, she might run a big personal best here.
You see all those people in the VIP area checking out the 100. They've got a shot straight down the home straight, and they'll have those athletes running towards them. I think earlier this year, Whistle and Bean actually shared the world lead for the 100. I think it was 11.63. So luckily in Australia, running very early in January, we can get those world leads nice and early.
Print it out, I say. Print it out.
Oh, that's a
Frame
keeper.
It up. Put it on the wall.
And get it back here, girls.
Away now, Whistle out very, very fast. She's been to the London Olympics before, and the Indian athlete on her outside running well. Bean coming home, but Whistle's very, very strong. Bean closing hard, but Whistle's going to hold on. 11.45 the win, plus 1.7. I think that might even be a PB for Bean, who closed very, very quickly in those later stages. Some fast sprinting tonight. Good to see the legal wins.
Toya Whistle's PB, 11.40, and looks like it might have got rounded down to 11.44. That's an equal season's best for her. So let's wait on Brianna Bean's time. 11.63 is her best. And it looks like it's come out at 11.54, so that'll be a PB for her.
As we see that Adidas replay, Whistle getting out of the blocks and flying. And Bean coming home super hard, the long striding athlete just getting there. And she's going to go home with double PBs tonight. It looks like we've got Robbo with the Queen of the Pacific, Toya Whistle.
That's right, Lynchy. I've got Toya Whistle down here, and Toya, an equal season's best for you tonight there. Legal wind as well. How are you feeling out there on the track?
I'm feeling good tonight, but there's not someone to push, but I run my best, so I'm happy with the time.
Very good. And backing up with the 200 a little bit later tonight?
Yeah, I'm looking forward for the 200.
We might get a chance to chat again then, but all the very best in that one, and well done again on the 100 win.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Back up to you.
Thanks, Robbo, and well done, Toya. She's a lovely young lady, a lovely girl, training out of Gold Coast. We're back
She's
down to
definitely
the
been
pole
running
vault.
a lot this year, so she's holding herself in some good shape. As we see Hyde cooling on the runway.
Obviously, the pole vault's missing Alana Boyd from last week, who jumped so high, attempting the 481 and just missing it. She cleared 471, which was a fantastic vault. But this competition with the Parnoff girls and Nina Kennedy, these girls are really wanting to push up to the heights that they know they can get to, and if they do, they will book themselves a ticket to Rio.
Fingers crossed. Getting a bit of crowd interaction early on at these earlier heights. Just taking out the bar early. That is the first height. It's only 350. That's what we're starting on. And they need to add another metre to that if they... Oh, sorry, 3 metres 90. There was an official standing in the way. 390, so only 60 more centimetres until they get that Olympic Rio qualifier. So we probably won't see the other girls come in for quite some time, which means Hyde Cooling will be running by herself a little bit. But there's the final results, our Adidas results for the race. Just run. Whistle taking it 11.44, being at 54, and Nanda from India 11.63.
It's a shame we don't have a women's 4x100 relay heading to Rio.
It definitely is. It's hard to get them all in shape at the same time, it seems. Sally obviously focusing on the hurdles. But Mel, we could easily get her. Brianna Beans running well. Ella Nelson.
I know, it's frustrating, isn't it? Because the 4 girls, our 4 top Australian girls, if you put them together at the end of an Olympics, they'd be great. We just can't seem to get them qualified. And it's frustrating because it's the same with the men's 4x4 and the men's 4x1. Really frustrating.
Yes, I think
we do have the talent.
That men's 4x1. Look what we did with a lot of great guys in London, but they were 10.3 guys.
Yeah.
Season best of 10.3s, 10.2s, and they equalled the national record. And we've got guys running 10.2s and 10.1s.
Yeah.
All the time. And I think we could do it. We've just got to get them together at the right time.
And it's exciting also with our juniors coming through, and we'll see some of them later running. And
there's a lot of
the times
potential
that they're
there,
running.
isn't there? There's a lot of potential there. So it's, there's depth in the men's sprint, which is exciting. It's an exciting thing to be able to say.
That junior 4x1, if you've got Hale, Andrews, and Trey, slowest there is 10.39.
Wow.
Out of juniors.
Yep.
And then Lachlan McDermott, even there, the West Australian. Unfortunately, we're missing Rowan Browning, who was second over there in that Adelaide Classic run where Hale did run that 10.13. But it's going to be a very good race later on this evening.
It is tough being from Australia in those circumstances, because to organise relay championships or relay races where you can qualify through the IAAF policy of qualifying for Olympics and World Champs these days, it's tough because we don't have the comps or the luxury of the comps that, say, the Europeans do with European championships or team championships that they have. It's tough. All right, Robbo, let's head down to you.
Thank you very much, Tamsin. And here I'm just relaxing with Jamie Scroop, hanging out with her pole, and she's just getting herself in the zone here. It's been electric all week, the pole vault action down here. Pole vault was paradise, they call it. And Jamie jumped here before. What's it like when you come to Perth with the poles in hand?
Yeah, it's good. The track's good. It's nice and bouncy. I've jumped a PB here before, so hoping for another one tonight. And conditions are good. So
very good. What about the crowd, just quickly? How much of a difference does that make for you, the way the crowd gets behind these guys?
Yeah, no, it's good. And I used to live here for a while, so I've got some crew up in the crowd there, and the junior nationals being on. There's a whole heap of people here from SA, so it's nice to have a bit more support in the crowd.
Very good. And the boys obviously going very well too, so pretty nice.
Yeah. Curtis and Declan have smashed it this week, so yeah.
Great work. Well, look forward to have a great comp. Look forward to catching up with you a little bit later on, and thanks again for catching up with us here with the pole. Jamie, back up to you guys.
Thanks, Robbo. Well, that's groundbreaking, isn't it? We're talking to athletes before they've even competed. So Robbo down there with Jamie Scroop giving us an insight to how she prepares and what she's up to, just waiting and watching the other girls compete. It's a tough one with pole vault, because if you're not going to come in for a while, we saw with Alana Boyd last week, you just sit out there and watch the others jump, and you have to stay so focused.
You don't know how long the others are going to take either. You don't know how many heights they're going to do, how many fails or clearances. So, yeah, it's a little bit difficult, but that's part of pole vaulting. If you're going to be the best in the world and start after everyone else, that's just the price of being that good sometimes.
There's Alana Douse there on the runway, coming in at 3.90 metres. There it is, bar height. It does get into a little bit of mind games in those events. We saw Steve Hooker at the London Olympics talking his way into through qualifying and getting himself into the final when they usually only take 12, and there was a bit of a Brian Rowe was right in the centre of it, and they finally got their way in. I think they took 16 or 17 through to the final. So Hooker had a little bit of a convincing to do, and it seemed to work out for him.
That was interesting how they worked that out, because I think they had the same issue with the high jump, but I think they made them jump.
Oh, they didn't have Steve Hooker there to talk them into it.
Yeah, everyone needs Steve Hooker in their corner when they need some arguing done. No, it was brilliant. But those pole vault guys, I've spoken to Steve about it before, they get along so well. So it probably looked like Steve was out there being the spokesperson, but I'm sure they would have chatted about it before and said, let's do this, and they would have talked their way through.
And there is the javelin.
Catherine Mitchell heading out to have a throw. Obviously, we know from last week she's in shape.
Definitely in shape, and she's throwing in Kim Mickle territory.
actually, come over to the home of Kim. Got on a 64 last week on her final throw. Let's see what she can do on her first throw here tonight.
63. 63 is the Rio qualifier. 62, 61. I'll say all the numbers.
62 is the
62.
qualifier.
200. Looks like maybe just getting a little bit too high, but he's getting it easily over that Rio qualifier. Just dropping Rio qualifiers like it's nothing.
Well, I mean, she's seriously world class, though, Catherine. She's an Olympic finalist from the last Olympics, and she knows how to get the job done.
She'll be wanting some bling later this year for sure, and she's on track.
And she can get that bling, you know.
She's a 66-metre thrower.
Our athletics team is starting to shape up quite nicely.
We've got Lauren on the runway. I think it's her third attempt at 390. It'll be a PB if she can get over, and just not on that attempt. She's had a vault already this week in the WA colours. Tonight in the pretty purple Adidas.
They're looking good in Adidas.
As are all the girls there in the pole tonight. Quite a team effort, it looks like. And Alana will be next up on the runway, also going for a personal best. As we cross to the Javelin, Reece Dean giving the noggin a little bit of a knock to fire himself up. Getting some grip on the fingers as he lines up for his first throw of the Javelin.
Discover hundreds more events and start experiencing now at westernaustralia.com.
And a solid opener there. You'll know he can improve on that one, but it's always good to get one out first round.
The good news keeps coming. Just had confirmation. Ella Party, West Australia has performed a Paralympic Games qualifier in 100 metres just before the women. Fantastic performance by the
We're on a douse there on the runway. We're just getting confirmation from earlier that women's 100, Ella Party doing a Olympic Rio qualifier, a Rio Paralympic qualifier in that 100. So, like we said, getting a go in the Perth Track Classic and really utilising that event.
It's brilliant. Obviously, the Rio Paralympics happened straight after the Olympics for the able-bodied athletes. Hopefully it's like London. London got great crowds for the Paralympics. It was brilliant.
Hopefully the Australians can get some medals in Rio like they did in London as well.
Yeah, they did well.
So we're going to find Mossy. He's out there in the field, and we're going to get an update. Mossy.
Yeah, g'day guys, over here at the Javelin throw. We're just in the first stages of throwing here as we see Luke Can on the runway. Catherine Mitchell threw out a massive 63.95, which was nearly as big as what she threw last week. So she's really, really comfortable and looking good as Luke Can now starts to come up to the runway. Spoke to Luke Can, as we mentioned there at the top, that he has made his way over here from Victoria to WA under Coach Grant Ward. He's only thrown a 72 this year, but he's starting to really find his mojo. Luke came 7th at the Commonwealth Games, which is a pretty outstanding achievement. But this is probably a story that we haven't heard about. You wouldn't have had his name down in the start line, but Josh Robinson, who came 4th at the Glasgow Commonwealth Games, well, he's making his return from an injury in 2014, which he suffered at the Intercontinental Cup at Marrakesh. And he said he's starting to feel really good. This is his first major competition since then. So I'll tell you what, we're all eyes supposed to be on Hamish Peacock. We're throwing Luke Can, but throwing Josh Robinson as well. He's not too far away from launching out his first javelin throw. So everything going well down here. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Mossy. Getting all the insights from the Javelin. It looks like he's just getting a bit of chalk up the hands, dry up the sweaty palms. He did come back recently at some of the Queensland Athletics Shield meets and got it out to about 78. You see Leslie Copeland, Fijian javelin thrower, getting his first throw out, just trying to get it around that 70-metre mark. Not sure what the Fijian Rio qualifiers are. Maybe someone could look them up for us.
Here's Vicky on the runway. It's great to see Vicky back out there vaulting, and she's in shape. I mean, she's had a few attempts at Western Australia Strides athletic meets, and she's vaulted 435. She keeps getting beaten on a count back to her sister. That's got to be really annoying when your younger sister beats you by a count back. Maybe tonight's her night.
They've certainly got their fair share of junior records on their way through up into the open ages. And I think Kennedy's and Emma Philippe as well, taking them.
Yep.
Dakota Thomas, and she'll move into the straight. Grace the Victorian leading them in. Dakota Thomas on the inside. Grace there starting the move. Thomas coming back and on the inside.
Here we go, Parnov, first attempt. Oh, very easily over the bar there.
Nice.
Great clearance.
And this is their comfort zone too. This is where they train. This is where they eat, sleep, work. They spend a lot of time out here vaulting as well as in the gym around the corner. So they'll be pretty comfortable out here, the girls.
How do you think that affects you? To some people, do you prefer to travel and get that feeling of, hey, I've left home for a big comp, or do you like that comfort of being at home?
Oh, it's a tough one. I do like being at home, but, you know, if the Olympics are on in the middle of the year, you don't want to be in Melbourne, do you?
No, you certainly don't.
It's a bit cold. And it's pretty exciting getting the passport stamps.
Yeah, that's very, very true.
I think, you know, it's always nice to be able to have your home comforts and to have your familiar people around you to watch. So I think, especially with pole vaulting, I'm guessing, like, a track's a track, but with pole vault, you know, your familiar vaulting areas probably.
That's right. It is available to watch on that link there. Hashtag Summer of Ass.
And Hamish Peacock on the screen. He's come all the way over from Tasmania, so we'll see if he enjoys the travel on his first attempt.
Oh, that's not bad. Oh.
Traditionally low and direct throw there from Hamish.
He looks like he has a very fast arm.
He has a very fast everything.
I don't know if he'd be enjoying this weather. He usually throws really well at home when it's pouring rain and freezing cold in Tasmania. It might be too hot and too good weather for him out here.
You know what? Hamish will be on that plane because, you know, you could make him wait to the final day of cut-off and he'll be throwing in Tasmania and get it. He's a brilliant clutch thrower.
He certainly is. Actually, unfortunately for Tasmanians, they've actually ripped up the Domain track and they are relaying it. I did see a video of Hamish's brother Hugh, the hammer thrower, training in an empty field on a bit of plywood. No cage, no concrete circle, just a bit of plywood on the floor.
Pretty tough. It's like when they ripped up Santos in Adelaide. They don't have a lot of tracks as their alternative. So
especially in Adelaide, there's not many around.
Yeah, you just have to train on grass and just prepare. But you know, the flip side of that is what you said before. When you get on a plane and travel, you've been training on grass, and you got on a track, you feel pretty fast.
And you quickly realise why you're travelling too. You have a purpose when you have to spend 3 hours getting to a track. When if you live on the other side of a track, and I know some of us do, then you can sort of lose the feeling of, well, why are we actually here?
Get spoilt.
Indeed.
Victorians get spoiled a lot. We've got lots of tracks.
The viewers at home are watching Miss Parnov over the bar at 4:20 on the one and only track Western Australia have. So those Victorians back at home, if you have to drive more than an hour to a track, get over it. We're very, very lucky back in Melbourne. We've probably got 20 tracks to choose from within an hour, and the whole state of WA has only got the one track.
Yeah, it is tough. I know it happens a lot in New South Wales. If you go from Newcastle to the Gold Coast, there's no tracks between there. So, but there's also not as many people in that area.
You could fly over to Santos Stadium. That's the one track South Australia have.
Yeah, certainly. It is tricky. Even Canberra's got 2 tracks. And that's not even a real state.
The beauty with athletics is there are a lot of grass tracks, so you can still do it, and you do your main competition on the main stadium.
I do like a nice grass track.
You see that with little athletes. A lot of the little athlete centres are done on grass.
This year competitors men's under 15, 200 metres national.
I think it's a great concept of having the men and women throw together.
Yeah, I like the idea. Like, not often does it happen, and these boys will have thrown together many times, the girls similar, but very rarely do they actually get to throw with each other, so it adds a different dynamic.
also means you've got the one comp and you've got both the men and women being able to throw at that competition, and it's...
Gives them a bit more of a break between throws as well.
Yep.
If it's not a big field, the girls have only got 4 in the field. They could be just throw.
Yep.
That's only almost a minute between throws, so you could be going very quickly. But add the guys in there, and you've got a lot more. To see Jamie Scroop there on the runway, South Australian native. But even she said spent a little bit of time over in WA, so there's a WA connection with all of the athletes here in the pole vault at the Perth Track Classic. Unfortunately, just hitting it up on the way up there with the feet.
Catherine Mitchell on the runway, the Javelin again.
Already got one Rio qualifier to a name.
Just lost the tip a little on that one. She came in, the impulse, and the tip just went a little bit higher than she probably would have wanted it. It's really important with Javelin to put all of your force straight through the Javelin. If you pull down and it goes up, then we've missed something there. So she'll know she can improve on that one. She had a really good opener though, so keen to see what she can throw over the next few.
She also looks like she's got a really fast arm.
There's a tweet there from Jessica Trengrove. Thanks for bringing the Perth to Adelaide. Loving this live stream. That's right, she's at home watching the live stream. Jessica Trengrove with an Olympic qualifier in the marathon.
A very fast Olympic qualifier in the marathon. She got that at the Melbourne Track Classic, which one of her pace setters was Craig Mottram, who's going to be going for an Olympic qualifier in the marathon in London. So it'll be interesting to see what he does for his first proper marathon.
Yeah, that will be interesting. I think he's got it. He's got it in him. But it is a marathon. Anything can happen. It's 42.2 Ks.
Imagine if he does it though. That'd be his 5th Olympics. That's pretty impressive.
That is that's a big career.
Yeah.
That is a career.
And to do it across different events too.
Amazing. Yeah. And it's tough for a distance runner, you know, to make 5 teams. Like it's a really good effort if you can do that. I mean, it's a great effort to go to full.
Nina Kennedy, 4:20, gives it a little nudge.
A little nudge.
Just a little?
Rocked it. 4:20.
Over she goes.
Nice and clear. Maybe she needs to go up a pole, I think. I'm guessing that's what the squinty face is about.
Might be a little confused as to where her foot was then.
It's like, really, coach?
No doubt they'll have a chat.
It's nice to see the camera work there, getting up close and personal with our athletes.
These girls use a bit of the black tar to make sure that they get enough grip so when they take off, they don't let go until they want to let go.
Jamie Scroop.
From New South Wales, River Pentecost, in 8, from Queensland, Colton Mason, lane 9, from New South Wales, James Rose, meet record number Aaron Oliver of Western Australia, time of 21:65. This is the final of the other 16 metres.
It is not an empty seat on the front straight. That is where all the action is happening. We're lucky to be up in the Swan's Nest. I named it the Swan's Nest earlier in the week. We are in WA, the home of the Black Swan. It is their state symbol, and this is the Swan's Nest. We're just right on top of those guys walking upstairs. Look, they're even sitting in the aisles, filling up to watch some awesome athletics.
And we've got some big events coming up.
All right, we got Robbo down there at the triple jump.
Thank you, Lynchy. Look, it feels like Perth International Airway down here. That is how busy the runways are in front of the home straight. At the triple jump, it's really heating up. We've concluded the first 2 rounds of this event. And at the moment, our leader is Alwyn Jones. He's jumped 2 legal jumps of 16.47 and 16.44. So he's only 38 centimetres off a Rio qualifier in that one at the moment. In second place at the moment, Teta Anang with a 15.47 and Shem Higher James, 15.39.
At the pole vault.
So there we go. That's the triple jump. Back up to you guys.
There we go, yes. Very clear 4 metres 20. Jamie Scroop. South Australian. Got a few clear now at that mark.
She'll be happy with that.
She will. She had a good clearance there. You can see in her eyes she's wanting to know what to do next. She'll be keen to take down these girls in the field. This is a competition for these girls. A training run, no doubt, but a competition that Jamie will love to come out with a win, and that 4:20 clearance is going to give her confidence for the next height.
Second in the Melbourne Challenge, second in the Canberra Challenge, Commonwealth Games, World University Games, representative of Western Australia, Zoe Timmins.
Wow.
Beautiful clearance. I feel like that enclosed elbow fist pump is it's just a standard celebration from the girls from WA. I've seen it a fair few times there. I think they all learn it from each other.
Maybe we have to ask Alex whether he has a celebration training session.
Pretty sure I've seen Hooker do that same celebration as well.
And I reckon if any of the girls get the next height, they might even add on the double fist pump. As we watch Josh Robinson.
Ooh.
Unleashing the javelin, nice and high on that one.
Very high, and it still got out there.
It's a solid throw, that's high 70s.
Representing Queensland, Samantha Stanley.
It's nice to see. He did hurt his ankle at the Queensland State Championships not too long ago. I wasn't sure how he was going to come back, and it seems like he's back in a pretty good bit of shape there.
He's looking good so far, and having trouble with his sort of elbow and shoulders, like all javelin throwers. You get a jav moving that fast, it takes its toll. But the bar at 4:30 at the pole vault, and over.
The Parnoff girls
Solid
look
single
really
fist
switched
pump.
on. They look really switched on tonight. I wouldn't be surprised if they go high.
Well, Nina Kennedy stole the show last year. I don't think they want her to do it again this year.
I'm going to have to say something very girly. I'm sorry, boys, but I really do look forward to seeing how these girls wear their hair each time they compete. You can tell they actually put serious time into the way they wear their hair.
Well, they're on TV.
That's true. You got to look your best.
You do, but there it is. We've got the under-20 women's 100 metres from the inside. Georgia Boxley, Celeste Mucci, who already won the hurdles, Brooke Summerfield, Sam Geddes, Louisa Healy, Nana Odama Owusu Afriye, Kyla King and Nicole Kay. 8 starters there. And some very fast running in those semi-finals. We saw an 11.66 from Sam Geddes in the semis.
Now, Nana's a great young athlete. She's a Wesley College athlete.
She is from Wesley.
And she's been around for a little while now. It's surprising that she's still under 20, but she's still at school. She's 17 years old.
Still
yeah, she can go to the next World Under 20 Championships.
But she is a seriously fast mover. I've enjoyed watching Nana go through the ranks.
I enjoy saying her name.
Great over the one and the two.
Fast, doesn't it?
It's a fun name to say. I think I said this on the stream last year as well, and she said I say it very well, so I've been given approval from the owner of that name.
Her heat also, she dipped under the World Junior Qualifier. It was wind assisted though, so that won't count unfortunately, but shows that her legs are moving that quick, and it'll be exciting to see what she can produce here. Tony Marsh, her coach, one of the hardest working coaches in athletics. He's got a great squad back in Melbourne. They train at Box Hill. So all the best to Nana for this 100 metres.
Now look at the times from the semi-finals. Going from the inside, 11.95, 11.89, 11.76, 11.66, 11.82, 11.72, 11.86, 11.83.
Wow.
It took a sub-11 just to get into the final here.
Sub
it was
12,
windy.
yeah.
Sorry, sub-12.
Good.
But yeah, that's fast. And these girls are looking to make that 4x1 for the Under-20 Championships.
And Toya and the other girls earlier ran super quick, so it's good signs legal for these girls.
That's right.
Do you know what? It's really good signs for that relay team going to the World Juniors. Nina's on the runway.
The height, 4:30.
Oh,
Not as lucky this time.
Almost sneaking over.
Talk to me about who do you think, from watching the semis, who do you think looked the best?
I wasn't here for the semis.
Too hard to pick. What about Sam Geddes?
She would be the favourite.
Yeah.
She has the fastest PB in the field. She was a bronze medalist at the 2014 Youth Olympics in Nanjing. 11:69 she ran there. She's been overseas, but Nana has been also to the Commonwealth Youth Games.
Yeah.
She ran over there. So there's that international experience, the big race experience.
What about Celeste Mucci?
Celeste
She obviously
Mucci.
won the 100 hurdles, and she's going for the heptathlon later on.
Big time performer.
So she's already got her spot there. She's already going. So she's obviously doing the 100 just to go, look, guys, I can sprint as well.
So she might be the most relaxed out there. People who are relaxed in a situation of intense drama, they sometimes do some really dangerous things.
She's also had a very busy program, though. She's run a couple of hurdles races. She's done a high jump. She's done a long jump. So
she's a heptathlete.
Yeah, I thought they were all
bring them
tough.
strong,
so she's
don't they?
out here to warm down, and hopefully she warm down
just roll
very
out
quickly.
There's a bit going on here. Nicole Kay on the outside. She's the second fastest this season in the under-20s over the 200, running 24.00.
These girls are seriously talented. This is going to be a really exciting race.
Keep
No
an eye on
wonder
that.
you can see how nervous they all are from the start.
See Catherine Mitchell now on the runway. So she can get it out over that Olympic qualifier again. Getting a good bit of height on it.
Looked a little better out of the hand.
Oh, not too bad. That's over the qualifying mark, but we're going to cut back down to the track. This is the women's under-20 100-metre final. World Junior qualifier is 11.80. The meet record, 11.64. So for a legal win. And we're away. Geddes getting a very, very fast start. They've got to catch her on the inside. The New Zealander Summerfield, but Nana Adama Owusu Afriye late running to Nicole Kay on the outside, running well. But it's going to be Sam Geddes taking it at 11.77 the win, plus 1.1. That is a World Junior qualifying time. She will be absolutely stoked. Sam Geddes is going to Poland.
And she's hit the deck. She's that
Taking
excited.
a dive.
That is huge running. She's had a bit of trouble. She's actually torn the ligaments in her foot, and she was only supposed to run for the first time this day.
And
she did a bit of training
confirmation
beforehand. There it is, 11.76.
What a talented young lady. She is serious future talent for Australia.
And obviously the younger sister of Jared Geddes, who's one of our greatest sprinters. 11.85 for Nicole Kay. That's a huge PB for Nicole Kay. They're sneaking into second place as we see the Adidas replay. Watch for Sam Geddes, fourth from the inside and away so fast. On the outside, Nicole Kay, who ended up coming in second place, closing late, and she's showing obviously her 200-metre speed. Nana Adama Owusu Afriye would have been very close to that 80 as well. But look at this, 85.85. Robbo, have a seat with Sam Geddes. Off you go.
A seat with Sam, that's right. Well, you've spent a bit of time on the track over here, just letting it all sink in. What's the reaction so far?
Kind of happy tears. I'm very overwhelmed. Just very puffed. I didn't think I shouldn't have been running right now. Like, I got to Perth. That was a bonus. I ran 11.65 in the heat, the semi, within a bit of an unfortunate wind. That was a bonus. Oh, junior qualifier.
Well done. Well, I was about to say something else you are is the new owner of one of these flags. Now, this is your ticket onto the bus to Bydgoszcz in Poland and the World Under-20 Championships. That's what you were chasing. You got it. Well done. I'll let you get your breath back and go and really let that sink in. Well done, Sam Geddes.
Thanks very much, Mossy.
I'm the funny one. Don't worry.
Robbo.
There we go. That's Sam Geddes. I'm back up to you guys.
Thank you, Robbo. Obviously, absolutely stoked. She's delirious with happiness.
Do you know the best thing that I like about that is the fact that Sam Geddes is seriously puffed. Whoever said 100 metres isn't a tough event hasn't seen how much effort these guys put in when they run the 100. That was intense. That was really intense. I don't know. You could feel the nerves from all those girls. They were so fast, and there was, they knew that if they had the race of their life, they were going to book their ticket. That was a great race to watch, and I think all 8 of those girls should go back and watch that race and be so proud of themselves. They all have a big future in this sport.
After those heats this morning, weren't sure if anyone was capable of maybe running that World Junior qualifier, but then seeing those semi-final times and in that race, a couple of girls under 85, 85, 85. Very close, and I think that 4x1 will be very, very handy. But here we go, look at that, 76, 85, 85, 86, 96, 12.05. So we could see a lot of those girls all the way down to maybe 6th place there, running at the World Junior Championships, World Under-20 Championships in that 4x1, and that's a pretty quick team.
It's a fantastic team. It's a really great team. And, you know, the exciting thing is that these girls are going to transition into seniors. We have such a bright future in our sport. That was a very exciting race to watch.
And not only that, we've just seen a huge run there. This Under-20 Championship race here, personally, I've been really looking forward to. We've got 9 starters here from the inside. Michael Hansford, Jonathan Taylor, Brandon Herrigan, Cameron Searle, Jack Hale, Nick Andrews, Trey Williams, Jared Perello and Jonty Flotman. That is an absolutely outstanding... That's a huge, huge field there. Now, I think the lanes we want to check out is lane 5, lane 6 and lane 7. Jack Hale, he owns a wind-assisted PB of 10.13. That is just absolutely ridiculous. And this season, Nick Andrews, you can see he's doing some phantom skipping there. Last night he was dancing around to the music before his 110-metre hurdles. And Trey Williams, look at him there, stalking like a Maurice Green. He is an absolute beast out of the blocks. I don't know anyone who can start better than him.
In the world.
No, in the world. I honestly don't think anyone can beat him to the 5.
And he'll need to. He'll need to get out well. He'll have to set it up over the first 40 or 50. Jack Hale jogged a 10.5 into a headwind this morning. But likewise, Trey, he was pretty comfortable. Almost putting on the brakes 15 metres, 20 metres out and ran super quick as well. Nick Andrews, he's the form runner.
10.39 this year. He won the B race at the Canberra Track Classic, and he's already there again. Same as Celeste Mucci, he's already there. So he's pretty much already selected himself in the 4x1. I'm saying it now. He's in the 4x1. He's already there for this, and he runs 10.39.
And you can't count out the fastest guy from Victoria, Searle.
Yeah, Cameron Searle. He's only 17 this year, and he's going up the age, same as Nana did, to try and get himself in that 4x1, get the experience, and 2 years later, maybe run in Tampere.
These boys are seriously pumped up. They know what's on the line. They're ready. They're ready for big races.
It's a seriously impressive field.
Now, the World Junior record, the World Junior qualifying mark is 10.55. We don't need to worry about that. They've already done that. The meet record, 10.34 by Josh Clark, done 2 years ago. Now, when he did that, he tore his hammy 20 metres out from the finish line and still ran 10.34. All right. Now, the Australian record is 10.29 by Matt Shervington. And I think, seriously, that is under threat tonight.
You're going to put it on the line? Are you calling it?
I think so. Trey ran 10.32 last season at the National Champs when he got himself a bronze.
Yep.
If he can get out like he always does, he can get close. But Hale's been in really, really good shape. I don't know if you can tell if I'm excited about this race. I'm very excited.
He's a great performer, Hale. A really good performer. So every time I've watched him compete, he seems to manage to get himself out there on top. So
that's right. The amount of pressure that was on him at the Adelaide All-Schools was pretty big, and he did it.
Tough to tip
keen for your
against
call here, Lynchy.
Oh.
Let's get excited.
All right. And we're away. Trey getting his classic fast start. Nick Andrews on his inside. Trey doing enough to hold on. Andrews coming home late. Here comes Jack Hale. Trey, will he hold on? Hale, Trey. 10.28. That is the new unofficial national record. Let's wait for that official time.
The wind is legal.
The wind is legal. It's plus 1.2. 10.28. Let's see. Still waiting. Come on, photo finish. Is it Hale? Is it Trey? I don't know. 10.27. for Trey Williams, national record. Matt Shervington, don't worry about him anymore. Trey Williams is your under-20 national record holder. 10:31 for Jack Hale. That is amazing. Nick Andrews, 10:39. Cameron Searle, 10:59. That is ridiculous.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're at home and you're not currently clapping, you can wake up whoever you're around. That's a new national junior record, 10:27.
Here
Jack Hale got an amazing start from the centre lane. He was brilliant out. He probably just tensed up just a tad. But look how fast Trey is through those closing stages. What a great race. That did not disappoint.
Who runs 10:39 as an under-20 and not win your championships? But the thing is, Jack Hale can do it again next year. Robbo, down to you, mate.
Quadzilla down here, Trey Williams. You got the win, mate. You've got Sherbo's record as well. Tell me how you're feeling.
Oh, man, I'm stoked. I'm over the moon. Couldn't be any happier. The race felt amazing, so got out, had a good lead, so I had to hold it on. I did that, and yeah.
What about a word for Jack and Nick? They really pushed you along tonight. We saw the heats today. You guys were looking really, really red hot, and that you've just backed it up with that, the win and the record.
Yeah, definitely. Those boys, did an amazing job as well. Definitely pushed me along the last 20, 30. So. Yeah,
well done, mate. You're the owner of the new record, you're owner of the gold medal, and you've got that red and white flag for Poland. Get yourself up there. Well done, buddy. Congratulations. Back up to you guys. He is absolutely pumped, and that is
absolutely ridiculous. We've still got more events to go. I don't know. I'm going to sit down, I think. I did a bit of research before.
They've come to settle down.
On his 10:32. His 10:32 would have medalled at 12 of the 15 World Juniors we've had. And now he's run 10:27. That is medal material at a World Juniors. That's ridiculous. For a 100-metre sprinter, I know sprinters, we do a lot of stuff, but people like sprinting. It's the 100 metres. It is the blue ribbon event.
And to have three guys under 10:40. Trey Williams, 10:27. Jack Hale, 10:31. Nick Andrews, 10:39. And Cameron Searle, pretty sure that's a PB for him, 10:59. Brandon Harrigan, 10:74.
That's ridiculous. That is super fast.
It's fantastic to see what competition does to the others. If there's somebody running fast, everyone else lifts to run fast. And that is just being witnessed in the under-20 men's 100-metre final, because that was just... There's some serious, fantastic runners out there.
And they've done such a good job. The fact that their heats were at 9:30 this morning. So they've run their heats at 9:30 and then had to come back almost 10 hours later to get yourself back up again.
At 9:30 in the morning for the actual race means a 6:30 start. You're here at 6:37 preparing, so you have to go through call rooms and you have to warm up. So
credit to the other guys in that field too. We had... was it Michael ran 10:85, I think it was. So whilst we were focusing on the records up front, 10:84 from Michael Hansford. John T. Flotman was also quick.
Everyone's sub-11 in that race.
All 9 of them sub-11.
And this will make people want to come to Perth again. If the conditions are right, you can run fast, it makes people want to turn up.
Hang on a second, I'm thinking we should all put our spikes on after this and head down there.
Time to get back into shape, I think.
Yep. Have we decided what our commentators' race is? It is over 50. Are we going to get the boys down?
50 centimetres, that's my race.
As we watch Tiana List motor in on the Javelin runway, she's looking for 49.5. That's probably a little flat on that one. Tough for the officials to work out whether that touch tip down or not. They've said no. That hand in the air signal is not the signal you want as a jab thrower. It means they're not going to measure it.
It's a bit like a golf swing, isn't it, Javelin? The harder you try, the more tension that comes out.
Apparently, you have to let the club do the work.
Yes.
But I'm not sure the jab goes anywhere if you don't do anything to it.
No, but I mean that you have to be relaxed.
Indeed, yeah.
The more relaxed they seem to be,
more relaxed, the longer you are, the longer the pull, the further the jab goes.
It's the same with running. The more relaxed you are, they tell you relax while you're trying to sprint fast. It's a tough sport.
And Luke Can on screen does that really well. He's a lefty, which confuses a few people when you're watching him, but he's a very nice, long thrower.
Makes it look easy?
He makes it look a lot easier than it is, that's for sure.
So as you see, Catherine Mitchell, who's already got her Olympic qualifier launch one out. A little bit of update from the results there. Hamish has thrown 82.81, which is 19 agonising centimetres away from that mark.
But he's only thrown twice so far.
It's only early rounds.
So He still has a few more throws.
Look at that. Another Australian record Perth Track Classic. It is turning it on. It certainly is turning it on. What a night for speed. Another big 60-metre throw there from Kath.
Luke Can coming in with the left hand. Nice long pull, as we were talking about before. That's a little better from him. That's around the 70-metre mark.
I feel like that men's under 20 100 metres just really set the tone for what's about to come. We've got some really sensational races coming up, which obviously everybody's really looking forward to. The Olympic champion and the world record holder David Rudisha coming up later in the men's 800 metres. But there's some great athletics here at the Perth Track Classic coming up.
Yeah, we got our men's triple jump still going on, our women's pole vault, and over there is the men's javelin. That's Fraser from South Australia getting one out there. All right, we're going to go down to javelin. We got Mossy, who is down there for some results.
Well, I'll tell you what, it is heating up out here, not just on the track, but also in the field. Javelin throw almost on fire down here. Catherine Mitchell, we talked earlier about the 63.95. She threw well. That's a new meet record, 63.87. Kim Mickle threw last year to take the biscuits and the record. So she's come over here to Western Australia and taken down her counterpart's record while she's not here. Now, in the men's, currently, as we heard there, Hamish Peacock just agonisingly 22 centimetres short of that 83 centimetres to get up over the line. 77.73 for Josh Robinson. So he's really starting to build up as well. Leslie Copeland from Fiji, he's in third position in 74.04. Had a chat to him, Lynchy, just to confirm the Olympic Games qualifier, same as the IAAF for Fiji, 83 metres. He said, even though he's not throwing that well so far, he said, nothing's impossible, Mossy. So looking forward to seeing how well Leslie Copeland can go here amongst the Australians.
Thanks, Mossy. What a great attitude, Leslie. Great, I like it. I think all athletes should have that theory. Nothing's impossible. That javelin competition's really exciting. Catherine Mitchell. Well, I think Kim Mickle will be watching that morning. She'll be itching to get back out there and throw. She won't like seeing her meet record be taken from her home track. But the triple Ks, as we like to call our javelin girls, they are so competitive on the world stage that it's brilliant that the three Aussie girls push each other. So, Catherine, I think it's fantastic that you're out here throwing very well, and it'll probably get Kim out here again faster. And Kim's, talking about Kim, she's come back from her surgery faster and healing better than she thought she would, so she's ahead of the game. So no doubt we'll see her hopefully pushing on that Rio Olympic final. Perhaps we could get three girls into that final.
And no doubt they've got the ability, they've got the runs on the board as well. They've all got big PBs. And great to see Kim come down over the week to show a bit of love to athletics. You know, she's a busy girl, she trains quite hard. But when the athletic world come to her hometown, she's been more than happy to get out there and say hi to the kids. She's definitely an inspiration to the young javelin throwers moving up the ranks.
And she's a lot of fun. She's a great girl.
Yeah, she's a good girl.
She's actually at a wedding this weekend. That's why she couldn't be here tonight. But she's hoping to make it back here. She said, they kicked me out of the hotel at 11 or 10. So she's hoping to be back here tomorrow for the men's under 20 javelin. Okay. We've got some very good throws. We see Josh Robinson launching another one out there, getting a lot of height on that jab.
Well, it might be worth coming down to not only watch the under 20 juniors competition tomorrow, but also seeing Kim, what sort of form she's in, sitting up on the hill watching.
The under 20 junior finals, Javelin.
And Josh Robinson there with the classic smile as he gives us, and the backwards hat.
Okay, Hamish Peacock. Let's all get behind him. Let's try and get get him across those last 19 centimetres.
He's thrown 82.81, and anyone at home eating dinner, have a look at your fork. It's the length of your fork. That's all he needs, that much more to get him across the line.
After throwing 82 metres plus, it's not much.
It's not a lot.
Come on, Hamish.
1500-metre champion, please welcome from Kenya, James Magoot.
He's picked out his favourite Nemeth Javelin on the runway. Here he goes. Ooh. Oh. Another solid throw, though.
Okay, we're down for the men's mile, down trackside. This looks like it's going to be a race between the Kenyans. James Magoot, who was second in the Melbourne Challenge, behind Ryan Gregson's great run in the 1500. But I think Elijah Kipchirchir is one to watch as well. He ran the 5K, and it was his first 5K, and he came third in the Melbourne Challenge. Rotich looks like he's gone to the front.
There we go. There's the starters. Josh Tedesco, Chris Dale, James Hansen, Elaine Dutton, Elijah Kipchirchir, James Magoot and Andrew Rotich. Magoot actually won the 15 in Glasgow.
He did, and he is a 3:30 runner. He is an absolute phenomenal athlete. So he's the one on paper that looks to be the favourite, but he struggled a bit behind. When Ryan Gregson inserted the kick last week with 3:50 to go, he struggled with that injection of pace. So he's probably in a training phase where he's working on building a base, because obviously the Kenyan trials aren't until later in the year. So he's come out here and it would have been his first race. He was probably a bit rusty. So he'll probably be looking to go a lot better tonight. Andrew Rotich is obviously pacing the boys through. Hopefully they'll be looking for a sub 4 minute mile, which Magoot's got a PB of 3:49, which is pretty
handy.
Good. Yeah.
Would have liked to have seen Mark C out here, the local boy who actually did a sub 4 minute mile here not long ago, and I think he was the last person to do a sub 4 minute mile in Perth since Herb Elliott, or at least the last WA athlete. And we got Mossy. Let's go down now.
Trackside, I'll tell you what. Oh, I can just feel them coming past my shoulder there. Those guys in the 1500 metres. I can't wait. It's only going to be a minute or so before they come back around. And yeah, it's starting to really fire up through here. You see the Kenyans out in front. But yeah, nice and close trackside. Loving it. Back up to you guys.
Jeez, Mossy. That was pretty close. That was close.
They look like they've slowed the pace a little bit, which you can see how the five of them are bunching up just a little bit. So
going through there, 1:58.99 through just over halfway. So they really need to obviously wind it up if they want to get this sub 4 minute mile. And really, if you're going to do a mile, you might as well go sub 4.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, Kipchirchir should be capable of running sub 4. He hasn't run sub 4 yet, but he's 1500 PB is 3:33. So once Rotich gets off the track, these boys will hopefully start to pick it up and wind it up from 600 metres out.
Oh, it looks like we've lost one of our athletes. They were just there rocking out the pace.
That's Rotich pulling off the track, but he looked like he struggled to hold the pace there for that 200 metres, so they've dropped back a little bit. But he's hung in the race. He obviously wants to finish it off, so he's just dropped back. He obviously said that he'd help his teammates to run quickly for the first bit, but
this is a bit like the cycling where the guy pulls off and then tucks into the back, lets the other guys do the work.
They're going to have to really do a big kick down now to break the 4 minute barrier.
3:01.49 with 1 lap to go. They need to really start winding it up.
And off that pace, they should be kicking.
Definitely should be capable of pushing the pace now. 300 metres to go. Doesn't look super quick at the moment.
So down the back straight, Magoot pushes hard. Kipchirchir holding him. And Hansen, ladies and gentlemen.
Here comes Jane Hansen, the Tasmanian. He can run a mile. Usually he's doing something else while doing the mile, but right now they are opening up. They're leaving it late.
Well, Magoot hasn't dropped Kipchirchir yet. Kipchirchir is the long striding Kenyan in second, but Magoo's the one who's obviously on paper, the one who's meant to win with a 3:30 personal best and 1500 metre gold medalist from Glasgow Commonwealth Games.
It's going to be very, very tight. I think they might, if they're going to sneak under, it's going to be close. Oh. Well, that was just as casual as you like. Just casually, just a 3:59.85.
What a great run by James Hansen there too, in third.
Very, very handy running there in the Herb Elliott Magic Mile.
He didn't get overawed, he pushed it up to them down the back straight and really had a red-hot go at trying to win that race.
Just behind him.
There we see in the Adidas replay. Really just turning it on this last 100. Hansen only just a stride off the pace there, but as they enter that home straight, really just stretched it out.
You know, in the middle of the year, these guys will be... I mean, Magoo's run 10 seconds faster than what he has tonight. So they're obviously in a really heavy training phase. They've just come across from Kenya to support the Australian Athletics Tour. It's great.
We got Robbo down there with the winner and recent sub-4 minute man.
Thank you very much, Lynchy. Yes, I've got James Magoot from Kenya here. He's had the win here before in the Herb Elliott Mile at the Perth Track Classic, ducking under the magic 4 minute mile, which Herb broke 17 times. 3:59.85 tonight. James, congratulations. How was the race for you?
Thank you. The rest of the day was very good. We moved slow a bit, but we have been improving today. So I think this is the second time to win in Bath, and I'm very happy for it today.
And you must love Perth and this track. You've had a couple of good results here now.
Yeah, this track is very nice. Only they need a lot of training to make the team. Thank you.
Very good. And we look forward to watching your countryman in the 800 metres very, very shortly. Congratulations once again, James Magoot.
Thank you.
Back up to you guys.
Thanks Robbo.
James Magoot, 3:59.83. Elijah Kipchirchir, 4 minutes 24. Just missed dipping under 4 for the first time. James Hansen, 4:02.07. Andrew Rotich, who was the pacemaker, he continued on to do 4:10.14. As Magoot just said, he obviously wanted the pace a bit faster at the start, so it was pretty tough for the training phase that they're in to kick it down any faster. But that's still a decent run. Anytime you run under 4 minutes, it's still pretty good.
Well, more people have climbed up Mount Everest than to run a sub-4 minute mile. So there you go. It must be pretty hard. Well, they used to think you would die if you went sub 4 minutes until Roger Bannister did it, so I guess you don't die.
And survived.
Yeah, he's still, all these guys are still alive. So, well, not from running a mile, maybe old age, but still.
If that's the way you're going to go, it's not a bad way.
I'm sure a lot of people would be happy to... they're out on the track now. The men's 400 metres from the inside. Michael Cochrane, normally a 400 hurdler. There's obviously no 400 hurdles out here. Andrew White, very good junior. He's come over to Australia and run a couple of our national championships before. DeLuca Lawson-Matthew from Victoria. Jin Kimura, a Japanese, normally a 4 hurdler as well. And Alexander Carew on the outside. And I think I've raced Jin Kimura at a World University Games in 2013. I think I've got his singlet at home. We did a little trade. So,
did you take him down, Lynchy?
Nah, they beat us. Unfortunately, it was Ian Dewhurst, myself, Alexander Carew, who's actually on the lane outside, and 100-metre runner Tom Gamble, who got himself into a 4x4, bit of trouble there.
Going to be interested to see how Cochrane runs here. Obviously, he's used to running over the sticks with the 4 hurdles, and he's been in great shape over the 400 hurdles. He's a fantastic athlete, so it'd be nice to see how quick he can go without the hurdles in the way.
Yeah, normally it's a tough qualifier for them. I remember him having to break the New Zealand record just to get the qualifier to go to any of his World Champs or Commonwealth Games. So it is tricky for these athletes. There's Alexander Carew, part of the OMAC club.
President of the OMAC club.
That's right.
Former member of the St Kevin's Amateur Athletic Club, DeLuca Lawson-Matthew there, donning the singlet of the St Kevin's Aths Club.
Oh, there you go. A year ago, Sam Geddes and Trey Williams won the under-20s in Sydney, and they've done it again, back-to-back. Congratulations, and they're both going to Bydgoszcz in Poland.
The men's 400 hurdle standard's actually tougher than it was in London, which is a weird one because most of the standards have gotten a little bit easier. But hopefully someone like a Michael Cochrane and maybe some of our boys, Tristan Thomas is coming back, can get the roll-down effect where, you know, if you don't have all the if there's still some lanes free, the IAAF will then invite the next best athletes. So I think Michael Cochrane could be in that boat if he doesn't.
49.40 it is, and that's pretty tough.
It's fast. I think it was 49.50 was the A standard for London. So it's tough.
So from the inside, Cochrane of New Zealand, Andrew White also of New Zealand, Lawson Matthew of Victoria, Kimura of Japan, and Karu of Victoria. And away now from the inside again, Cochrane, the 400 hurdler. Running pretty well, but Kimura and Karu on the outside going very, very fast. A lot of the Japanese athletes do enjoy going out super fast in those early stages. They enjoy the pain, they thrive on it. And he's up on the shoulder of Karu, but Karu also running very well on the outside. Andrew White starting to move up onto the shoulder of Lawson Matthew. They're leaving Michael Cochrane behind there. I think he will be a little bit stronger in the later stages. But as we enter the home straight, it's going to be Kimura of Japan, White on the inside, and Karu in third place. Lawson Matthews there now starting to turn it up, and Andrew White super strong here, starting to find an extra gear in the grey of New Zealand. Kimura just trying to hold on, but 47.19, the unofficial winning time there for the New Zealand visitor, Andrew White.
It's actually a tough track to run 400s on sometimes, the Perth one, because the wind, if it's a tailwind for the front straight, means you've got a big headwind down that back straight. Makes it quite tough, because usually the 400 runners love to have a tailwind down the back straight, so that you get to the 300 metres, the last 100 is always going to be tough. But if it's a headwind down the back, you get extra tired before you get to that last 100. So
Andrew White there just on the inside, knowing when to come off. He can see the rest of the field in front of him. But Cochrane just at the back there, really coming home super hard. It's that 400-metre effort, 400-metre hurdles training that he's been doing that get him to the line. Jin Kimura holding on for second, and it looks very tight there for that third, fourth, and fifth positions.
Did Kimura there just do a cheeky hand? Looks like he was going for the photo finish there.
And we got Mossy out there in the Javelin. I'm chucking it down to you, mate.
Yeah, Hugh Peacock about to be the final thrower here in the men's in the fifth round. Well, he's still in the lead with 82.81, which he threw in the third. Josh Robinson with a 77.73 still in second. But Reece Steen absolutely smoked one before with a 75.26 to overtake Leslie Copeland. Here goes Hamish Peacock launching it out there. Is it going to be up and over? I can't see from here. You tell me.
Oh, just short.
Just short. Well, that's been the story of the night so far for Hamish. I have been keeping an eye on him. He's a very, very focused guy. A lot of the other athletes will tend to have a bit of a chat to you and a bit of a wink, bit of a nudge, but he is just absolutely focused on that. He's got one thing on his mind, and that's getting over that 83 mark, which he needs to go to put himself forward to go to the Olympic Games. Back to you.
Thanks, Mossy. I think Hamish will be another one with the roll-down effect, because that standard is so tough. I think 82, 81 might be enough to get him there, but he obviously wants to make sure that it's a certainty and he's on that plane.
Yeah, you want to get in as early as you can. Crowd going wild there just on the back. James McGood getting presented with the Herb Elliott Mile Trophy. Obviously a lot of history. Herb Elliott, an absolute astounding Australian athlete from WA, and he seems pretty stoked. That's actually his fourth ever sub 4-minute mile, and it's his second here in Perth.
James McGood. Okay, I got bad intel, didn't I? I was looking at his 3:49 PB, and yeah, he made 3:59 look like a walk in the park. Then he didn't really look like it was struggling too much. Right, we have the women's 800-metre runners on the start line. This will be an interesting race. Got Laura Story, who's been running PB after PB in the 400 hurdles.
On the inside, Scott, Kelly, Griffith, Kian, Story, Ferguson, Waters, and Lindsay Pekin. Now, Lindsay Pekin, would she maybe doing a bit of pace duty, or would she be having a crack?
It'll be interesting, because I'm guessing that she's pacing, but she was down for the 200-metre start as well, so maybe she's doing a big training session.
Yeah, would not like to do a 200 flat out after pacing. It has been confirmed.
Well, Selma Cajun will probably want the pace. The Olympic qualifiers 2015. As yet, we haven't had any of the Aussie girls close to it, but they've got potential to do the standard. Selma pulled out of Adelaide at about 4:20 off the track, so I think it was due to gastro. She's part of the MTC, Melbourne Track Club, with Nick Bedeau as her coach.
And it'll be interesting to see what Georgia Griffith can do. She was 4th at the 2014 World Junior Champs.
She was, and she came 3rd at our Open Victorian State titles the other day behind Rosie Kelly, who's coached by Justin Lewis, who I know pretty well. And Rosie came 2nd, so it was a close race. Georgia's a very tough athlete. She went out really hard. She took the girls out and led it. She's a gutsy runner. Be interested to see how she goes. I think she's sitting in, she'll run a lot better.
And I think this would be Laura Story's probably only 4th or 5th actually ever 800 metres. She did a 57.44 in the 4 hurdles.
Yep.
She's been running some good 4 flats and some good 800s. So if it's around that 202, 203, I wouldn't count Laura Story out of the race.
No, she's tough. She's Penny Gillies' athlete. She's trained very hard. She looks very fit, ready to go.
So from the inside, Isabel Scott, Rosie Kelly, Georgia Griffith, Selma Kian, Laura Story, Nicola Ferguson, Keely Walters, and doing the pacemaking duties, Lindsay Pekin. And it looks like Pekin really setting a blistering pace, and Laura Story wanting to go out in front now. So the athlete in the front, Lindsay Pekin, is setting the pace, but Laura Story, she's wanting to go with it. And this is pretty fast, Tamsin.
Looks great. 27 through the 200. I think she'll probably slow it down just a little bit. So hopefully they hit the bell at that around that 58-second mark, and that'll really put them on target to chase that 2015.
And you want to see the field stretched out at a track classic. This is about running fast. It's not about medals. There's nothing really on the line except qualifiers, and the only way to get it is by going fast.
And I think that's the reason that you have the athletics tour. It's for athletes to put themselves out there and try and chase these qualifiers. So this is perfect for the girls. Lindsay's doing a great job.
Like you said, 58, there it is.
Perfect
Story, and just tucked behind her, Kayan. We'll see how far Lindsay's going to take this race around. She might go for the first 500. We'll see. There we go. So it's Story in the lead. Selma Kian in 2nd place. The time to go for 2015. Kian still just a touch behind her. What's going through the head with 250 to go, Tamsin?
The pain of it. You have to just basically concentrate on the girls around you. You want to race them. You basically think of form, using your arms, trying to forget about the pain that's kicking in.
All right, they've got just under 150 metres to go. It is still Laura Story. She's very good and just improving every week over this 800 metres. Selma Kian on her shoulder. Story now starting to wind it up. Can Selma respond as they enter the home straight? The New South Wales athlete. They're both from New South Wales. It's Kian and Story. Kian now turning it up. Story fighting back, but Kian now striding away. And Selma's going to take it out. So close, 202.28. That'd be another PB for Laura Story in 2nd place, but that's very, very handy running. And I think maybe a few more races like that at that pace should be under the qualifier.
That was a great race. I mean, remember, Selma Occasion's PB is only 201.96. I think I'm going off memory. So it's a pretty good effort. She 202.28 is really good.
Perfect. Steve gives a thumbs up to her 201.96.
I do like my 800 stats. She ran gutsy then. She got the sit-in over Laura. I was really impressed with Laura's race then. It was a tough run. You know, she really chased that time. She was the one who was willing to go with Lindsay Pekin's pace. It was fast, 58.6 through the bell. That's starting to move. They got a little bit tired, started to tread water around that, you know, that back straight towards the front straight area, which is often really tough area, especially if you're out there on the front leading it. But I thought Laura's race was brilliant. She's got a big decision to make at Nationals. What race does she target, the 4 hurdles or the 800? But Selma, great run. She's heading down to PB territory, and she should be really happy with that race.
Now, Laura Story actually has entered the Queensland Track Classic in the 800 and the 400. So I wouldn't advise doing both of them on the same day, but
pretty tough.
202.68 for Laura Story. That's pretty fast.
It was a great run. I was really impressed with that race. It's tough. It's tough to take the pace at the back end of an 800, and she fought as hard as she could to hold Selma off, who, Selma's been around for a few years now, so she's the seasoned competitor. Laura's got a lot of potential in this event, I feel. If she fixes up that last 80 metres just by doing more of the races at that pace, they just need some race hardness. Who knows what she could do? She's very close. She's the second off that Olympic standard now. So.
Yeah, and every race it seems she's getting faster and faster as we see the official results there. Georgia Griffith coming in over the top to avenge her loss to Rosie Kelly at the Victorian State Champs. Rosie Kelly in 4th and Isabel Scott from South Australia in 5th. We got Robbo trackside with Selma Kian.
Thank you, Lynchy. I was just doing the polite thing there, letting Selma just get her breath back a little bit more so we can have a bit higher quality interview here. Selma, well done. Firstly, a great win, but also tell me how you're feeling about the time there as well.
Yeah, I'm really happy about the time. Just happy to be getting a bit faster each race. Obviously, I want a bit quicker because I want to get that qualifying time, but I'm just happy to keep improving, and I think I'm really happy with the win and just the way I timed that race.
We're talking fractions of seconds now. 0.3 off the PB, 0.8 off that, Olympic qualifier as well. Tamsin Manu up there in commentary was, obviously willing you on. And we're seeing some great things with the girls 800 at the moment. Next up for you, what's your next focus?
So the next one's Brisbane next week. So just hoping to get a little bit faster there and then hopefully gear everything towards nationals.
Well, I look forward to having a chat with you when you get under that 2 minutes very soon.
Great, thanks.
Back up to you guys.
Thanks, Robbo. That was a fantastic race. The girls did really well, and it's nice to see them pushing closer to that Olympic standard. Fingers crossed in Brisbane they have a fast race, they get paced well. Lindsay did a great job pacing there. That really helps out the athletes when an athlete's willing to take the pace like that and do a perfect job of it.
Yeah, exactly. It does. It's hard for a lot of 400 runners to make that transition and do a pace. They don't have they just don't have that rhythm yet of that 800. They just go flat out the whole way.
Yeah.
But look at this man putting on some beautiful Adidas spikes. We know who that one is. It's David Rudisha. He's the king of track. And look at the people down there. I wonder who gets to have his basket. This is always the big contention, to see who gets to put and carry his basket out there on the track.
Well, Lynchy, I'm wondering now that everyone at home has seen that David Rudisha doesn't run in socks.
I don't run in socks.
I didn't know that, Lynchy.
Yeah, pretty sure Rudisha saw me back in about 2009. He was like, oh, I like that.
So he got it from Lynchy, and now all the kids out there that are running over the next few weeks, running without socks, it'll all be because of yourself.
Yeah, sometimes you just do these things. But, sorry, guys. We're just catching up. There was a big jab throw there by Hamish, very close to the qualifier. As the boys get out there on the track for some run-throughs. As long as you don't mind your shoes smelling, all right, that's okay. Don't wear socks. Wear socks at training, though.
I'm sure David's got a few pairs of shoes that he can swap around.
Yeah, maybe he might throw some into the crowd later on, and I wouldn't mind catching a pair of Rudisha spikes.
That's a really good sign that the women's 800 had PBs in it for Laura, obviously, and Selma was close to her PB.
Oh, he's running the wrong way, Rudisha.
For the fact that we want to see Rudisha run a fast race, don't we? That's what we've come out here to see. So, I mean, it's fantastic that he's just here, to be honest. He's the Olympic champion and world record holder, and it's brilliant that he's given Australian athletics the time. He obviously, before he was famous, he came out here and he's kept to his schedule. So
that's right.
And he ran a sub 1:45 in Melbourne, so that'll be a standard that he'd be keen to try and match here.
Look at that profile. 45.50, 41.40, 91. Two-time world champion, one-time Olympic Games, 3 times world record. That was one of the records we thought wouldn't go for a very long time. He did it. And to do it in a major championship. Obviously, Tamsin, you've been in those big races. A lot of those championship races aren't that fast. It's more tactical.
No, and it was the way that he went about his business. The gun went and he went straight to the front and he just ticked off the splits. He got to 400 in the time he wanted. It was brilliant.
We got
a hard
Robbo
way to do it.
down trackside. What is the vibe like down there, Robbo?
Yeah, there's a huge amount of anticipation down here, Lynchy. There's the hush over the crowd already, and look, let's hope that David Rudisha, we're going to see something special here again tonight. We saw him in Melbourne last week. Can he go a bit quicker tonight? I expect he will. And can he drag some of our young Aussie hopefuls for Rio along with him for the ride here tonight? What an experience, especially for youngsters like Peter Bowl from WA over here as well. Dylan Stenson in the mix there. Let's see how this goes. I cannot wait. Back up to you guys to call the action.
Thanks, Robbo. Down trackside, and the vibe is last year when Rhodesia ran in Sydney, it was intense. I was trackside down there with Robbo, and I've never heard the name David shouted so much. It was David, David, David. Everyone wanted to get a photo. Me and Robbo were lucky enough to get a selfie with the man, Rhodesia, but it was absolutely crazy. The VIP tent is booming. Everyone is still here. We've only got a few more races to go tonight. It's good to see the crowd still around as the boys line up in the home straight to get announced. And it's a big, big field. There they are on the edge. They'll just be, looks like they're at the back of their seats at the moment. I think they might slowly move to the edge of their seat as the race continues. It's a very, very strong field. We've got some athletes who are actually already qualified for the Olympics. Josh Ralph there in the number 6. He's actually already got the qualifier. He did that on his way to the World Champs last year. Alex Rowe has the potential to do it. And Peter Boll, former Western Australian, who's now over in Victoria training with Alex Rowe, should be enjoying this experience. Well, hopefully we get to see someone just take it to Rhodesia.
And I think one of these boys are probably the two to do it. We mentioned Josh Ralph before, and he can do anything, but Peter Boll, Alex Rowe, training under Justin Rinaldi back in Melbourne, doing a lot of good work together. But this is the man that they're going to have to try and chase. And as we said before at the start of the broadcast, maybe they take it out early and challenge the race plan of Rhodesia. He's so used to running up front and controlling the race from the gun. It'd be good to see if one of the boys could take it out.
There's the start list there. Brenton Myers and Mason Cohen, Harry May, Bryce Watkins, Josh Ralph, Dylan Stenson, Alex Rowe, Peter Boll, David Rhodesia, and doing the pace in lane 10, Jack Copeman. I'm sure Jack Copeman's going to get some pretty handy photos out there. A couple of him leading Rhodesia down the back straight. Hey, kids, remember back in the day, this was me in front of the world record holder? Yeah, I actually beat him in this race. You won't find any results, though. And we are off again from the inside. Misen, Cohen, May, Watkins, Ralph, Stenson, Rowe, Boll, Rhodesia, and on the outside, young Western Australian athlete Jack Copeman taking the pace. And he certainly is. And on the inside, Dylan Stenson, the South Australian athlete, doing some early work. He's not letting Rhodesia come across there. That's what I want to see. I want to see these boys take it to the race as they go through the first 200, just a tick under that 25 seconds. It's very fast.
Rhodesia seems to be doing the exact same thing as he did last week. He took the first 100 out a bit more cautious than the other boys, and then he's gradually found his position behind the pacer, and then he's let the pacer take a bit of a gap.
Clearly fast, but great tactics as well. He's put himself in a position again that the boys are going to have to chase, but great to see Alex Rowe, Peter Boll on the shoulder of Rhodesia. Alex going past at this point.
Here we go. They've gone through 51.80. A very quick pull off there by the pacemaker, and Rowe is on the shoulder of Rhodesia. It's up to Rhodesia now to wind up the pace if he wants to take it out.
Now this is brilliant to see, because Alex Rowe last week, he really didn't get his tactics right. He sat at the back and he really found it hard, but he finished strong, so hopefully he can hold on to the back of Rhodesia and get this qualifier.
So you got Rhodesia, Rowe, Boll, Stenson, Mason Cohen and Josh Ralph there. They're strung out there. Now Peter Boll's starting to make a move. He's like, Rhodesia, I'm not going to let you have this one. I want the race. But he's just so strong and strong at the last end. Boll fighting hard. Rowe fighting as well, but Rhodesia enters the home straight all by himself. This is the London Olympics all over again. Look at those arms, pumping hard, spreading out across the field. Josh Ralph closing hard. Peter Boll holding on, but Rhodesia taking the field. This is going to be super fast. 1:44.89. Peter Boll in second place. Ralph from Cohen, from Stenson, and Alex Rowe.
Well, Alex Ali gave it a crack. I think we realised from Melbourne that someone needed to challenge, and he did, and unfortunately just couldn't come home at the last minute there. But hard to beat this man. He's the best in the world. He's the best ever. Good to see Ralph getting in on third there, coming home strong.
Peter Boll, 1:46.68 as we see the replay. Boll here down the back straight with about 200 metres to go. Really decided to attack this race, and it worked out for him. 146.68. His PB is 146.51. So he's very, very close.
Much better race. In Melbourne, he was at the back of the field as well. So he obviously got his tactics better tonight. It's a shame with Alex. 800s is so tough. You've got to get your training right, and then you've got to get out there and you've got to get your race right. And sometimes it's just a small little thing you've got to tweak to get it right. Now, Alex is obviously a superbly talented athlete. He's run 144 before. He's our Australian record holder.
Perfect.
Fingers crossed he'll sort it out before Nationals. But what a run by David Rudisha.
And we got Robbo with Western Australian, now Victorian, Peter Bowl.
Yeah, look, we saw the Victorian last week. Luke Matthews really take it to David Rudisha, and Peter Bowl, formerly of WA, really took it to him with 150 to go there and held on. Not quite a PB tonight, 146.68 you've run, Pete. But, mate, how was that experience running behind the King?
It's a great experience. Me and I versed him last week and came dead last, so I can't really complain. I did plan to run the qualifier tonight, but I'm still there, so still got time over the next few weeks. I'll hopefully get that done.
What did you do to pick yourself up after that disappointment of Melbourne last week?
I've probably been in this shape since January. One thing I had to work on is my mentality. So I've worked on that this whole week and it showed up really well. Wish I could have stayed a bit and got a qualifier, but it's going to come sooner or later.
Sure it will, mate. Well, well done once again. Great work. And we're going to send it back up to Lynchy, Tamsin. How good was that?
Mate, how good was that? Thank you, Robbo. As we roll through, let's see those results. Look at that, 144.89, 146.68. Dylan Stenson is getting close to that South Australian record. It's only in the 147.7s. Mason Cohen, that's a PB for Mason Cohen. He ran 148.90 only the other week, 147.60. See what happens when you put the big man in a race and they start getting very, very close.
And I think that might be a PB for Dylan Stenson too, by 0.01 of a second. So good on him,
mate.
there.
PB's a PB.
PB's a PB.
I like what Peter Bowl was saying. It wasn't so much... He didn't lose belief in himself. He knew he was in that shape. He didn't let that bad run wreck his belief. He knew he had to do it. His confidence might have been low, but he still knew he could do it. And
really
there's a difference.
Tough to do. Really tough to do. It's amazing the turnaround of Peter Bowl in that week. It's well done.
Now we have Robbo trackside with the king of the 800. Off you go, mate.
I am indeed with the king. It's a pleasure to catch up once again. First run in Perth. David, on this blue track over here, how did you find it tonight?
It was good. You know, the track is fast. Yeah, this is my first time here, and I've enjoyed, racing. And to win here in Melbourne and here in Perth for the second time this season, and of course meeting my target that I came for, I think I'm satisfied now to go back and work hard for the main season.
What has it meant previous years, Olympic year? You've had the build-up over here in Australia, World Champs last year as well. You've ticked those boxes now. Are you feeling confident with Rio coming up later in the year?
Yeah, ever since I've visited Australia, started my season here, had a great season outside there, and hoping this time round again, like previous years, my year is going to be another good year, good one. So I have a lot of hope, and my training so far so good. I've been progressing well, so I know there's good things coming.
Very good. Well, it's been a thrill to have you here in Australia once again, and we hope to see you back again in many more years to come. Here's a little parting gift. There's the Australian flag. It's a little symbol, and there's the Rio flag to spur you on all the way over there to Rio.
Thank you very much.
Absolute pleasure. There is David Rudisha. What a thrill. What a night here at Perth.
Western Australia is extraordinary. Experience it this March. Discover hundreds more events and start experiencing now at westernaustralia.com/events.
welcome back to the Perth Track Classic, and we're going to go trackside to Robbo, who's got the winners of the women's and men's javelin.
Thank you very much, Hamza. I'm not sure what the collective noun is for a group of javelin chuckers, but I'm surrounded by them down here at the moment. Catherine Mitchell getting the Rio qualifier in Melbourne last weekend, and here she is in Perth, 63. Not quite up to where you were last week. How's the reaction been to the comp tonight?
Yeah, it was another good distance, but you know, I'm working on the full run up and trying to control the speed, so I'm not happy with that, but it's still a work in progress. But still an okay result.
Not the end of the world when you're a little bit disappointed with 63, because that's not a bad throw. Now, Hamish, over to you, mate. 82-81. Steve Kane was saying it's only the length of a dinner fork if you're having your dinner at the moment. It's agonisingly close. What's the emotions for you, mate? I guess you're desperate to try and tick that box.
Yeah, it's a bit bloody frustrating at the moment. I've got 3 throws now within a foot of the qualifier in 3 different competitions. So that's, when you're throwing 83 metres-ish, that's very close. So, yeah, pretty frustrating.
Mate, keep digging in there. It's got to be coming. As you say, you're so close to it at the moment, and I know both of you, there's plenty more good things to come. The season still has plenty to run, so we look forward to seeing you dominating, especially in the lead up to Nationals.
Yeah, thanks very much.
There we go.
Thanks a lot.
That's the javelin chuggers. Back.
Thanks, Robbo. Yeah, let's hope that Hamish gets his qualifier very soon, because he is agonisingly close to it. But
there we go. This is one of the last events on the track. The 200. We've got Seegers, Pekin, Nanda, Whistle, Newton, Longo, Jodie Henry and Fitzel Manu.
we're going to have to talk about Jodie Henry here, aren't we? What a brilliant athlete she was back in 2010. On this track, she won the 200 metres and the 400 metres for the national championship. She ran 52.2 and super fast over 200. And this is her first race back since injury. And she has had a long injury outlay.
She did. I think she even maybe had a fall. And I think I remember reading about a neck injury.
Yeah, and the doctor said she wouldn't be able to run again.
And she's proving them wrong. She has done a couple of interclubs out here, a couple of fours. And
quite fast, too,
yeah, so
200s.
Very handy. But look at this. He's the man of, not even just the hour, he's just the man.
Man of the sport.
Man of the sport. And look, servicing the crowd there. It's a huge pile up at the finish line. Let's hope they just turn around, peak at this 200. But look at that. And even congratulating some of our athletes. This is why it's great to have the junior champs and a man like Radisha. That photo is definitely going to be an Instagram and his profile photo, maybe his cover photo at the same time.
And just to note how respectful our Australian crowds are. These guys are, in the presence of track royalty, and rather than jump on him like fans can do, they're very patient, allowing David to do his thing. It's great to see.
I think it's a very strong fence down there too.
This women's 200 is going to be very exciting. Obviously, Lindsay Pekin, who's part of the 4x400 squad last year at the Bahamas for the World Relays and for the World Champs last year.
She qualified them for Rio.
She did help qualify them for Rio, and she was pacing the 800 not long ago for the women. So this is a great training session for her, because her main event obviously is the 4 hurdles and the 400.
It'll be very interesting to see. But we've got Whistle and Nanda. They went 1 and 3 in the 100 earlier today. We're seeing a lot of these athletes back up. We'll see how they can go. Keep an eye on the bright pink of Whistle in lane 5. They are away, and Whistle flying out of the blocks. Nanda chasing her out on the outside. Jodie Henry running very well on Longo on her inside. But as they enter the home straight, it's going to be Whistle leading them. Nanda chasing her down. Whistle ran 11.44 in the 100 earlier today. Nanda on her shoulder. Nanda now striding home. Look at the turnover. Nanda from India flying past her. Jodie Henry's going to finish second, 23.44 with a win plus 1.3. That last 50, very, very strong by the Indian athlete.
That's going to be a PB for her if that time holds up. So we'll wait for confirmation, but over the night, that looks like it's going to be a PB, legal, 1.3 as you said, Lynchy, and it's confirmed, 23.43 PB for...
Sorry, Shrabani Nanda.
I have to be honest, I was watching Jodie Henry then more, and it was fantastic. She came through in third, and obviously she looks like she's lacking a little bit of race fitness and hardness, but isn't it awesome to have her back out there racing? And she came third, first Australian. 24.50. It's not too bad when you're coming back after a 4 or 5 year
But
layoff.
you look at the end of the race, Whistle just with that 200 metre, that 100 metre speed, not holding on, but Nanda holding that form perfectly. She may have dipped a little bit early there, but it was a strong lip. And we've got Mossy trackside with our Indian winner.
Here we are, trackside, Shribani Nanda. That was a bit of a shock for a few of us, but you just ran a PB, 23.43. Talk us through the race.
Well, I came all the way from India to run with to get a better competition. So I'm pretty much happy with the PB and trying to qualify.
So for you, qualifiers, is it the same as the IAAF qualifiers?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And what's next for you?
I'm doing the Sydney one, Sydney Track Classic and the Nationals here till the next month. Hope I'll get a good time.
Well, we wish you the absolute best. Congratulations, you've taken out the final event here, the 200 metres at the Perth Track Classic. Back up to you, Tamsin.
Thanks for that, Mossy. Well, that was a fantastic 200 metre race. We'll just wait for the results here.
There it is, Nanda, 23.43 confirmed, a PB. Whistle, 23.62. And Jodie Henry on the comeback trail, 24.50. Very handy. She has run a 23.29 back in her heyday. But coming back from that apparently career-ending injury.
Yeah.
Obviously, it wasn't a career-ending injury because she's back.
It's just exciting seeing her back out there. Jodie, it's fantastic to have you back out there on the track. All right, guys, that's a wrap from the Perth Track Classic. Let's talk through some of our highlights. Mine, I'm going to steal first. It's got to be Brooke Stratton's 7:05 national record. What about you, Steve?
I'm going to jump in next and say Trey Williams' national junior record was amazing. It was an amazing race, and yeah, Lynchy.
Stolen mine. He went first. We're going to go to Robbo, and Mossy. What were your highlights of the day?
This is a highlight stealing fest, I've got to say. I mean, I'm taking that 7:05 from Brooke Stratton as well, but also consistent jumping from Chelsea Yench. There's a lot of hype about that contest, but how special is that, a national record, and that Trey Williams run as well. Mossy, what about you?
Well, in the shadow of a couple of national records tonight, I'll tell you what, it was agonisingly close for Hamish Peacock, just 19 centimetres short, but the beauty, he's still got another couple of chucks to go. Brisbane coming up, Sydney in a couple of weeks for the Nationals, and I'll tell you what, I'm pretty confident you're going to see the Tassie tosser putting it out there and getting himself an Olympic Games qualifier.
Well, and speaking of chucking, we're going to chuck it back up now to our hosts in the commentary box who have been fantastic all night. Thank you for watching, but up to you guys.
Thanks, Mossy and Robbo. And don't forget, guys, the Athletics Australia Gala Dinner is set to take place on the final day of the National Championships in Sydney on Sunday, the 3rd of April. It's not to be missed. We're trying to get people to get their squads of athletes to get to buy a table and come along. It's going to be a great night. So get your tickets on Athletics Australia's website. Well, that's a wrap from the Perth Track Classic. We trust you have enjoyed the coverage. Tune in again tomorrow for more Australian junior athletics action here at the WA Athletics Stadium from 11 a.m. And don't forget next Saturday's live stream double header with the Sydney Track Classic starting from 5:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time, followed by the Queensland Track Classic at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time, which is 7:30 p.m. for all the locals up there in Queensland. A big thank you to my co-commentators Steve Kane, Matt Lynch, and also Mossy and Robbo for all of their trackside insights. I'm Tamsin Lewis-Manu. You've been watching the 2016 Australian Athletics Tour, Summer of Aths. Bye for now.
Just like oxygen. If you cut supply, I won't survive without oxygen.
Western Australia is extraordinary. Experience it this March. Discover hundreds more events and start experiencing now at westernaustralia.com/events.
To be famous for my face. I want to be famous for my heart.